Okay, we are back, and we're about ready to start the next run. Quick reminder, the bid wars that are going on for voice language and for Mythra's costume are rolling incentives. They will, whoever is in the lead, well, that's what vaxherd is going to have to switch to. So without wasting any more time, I'm going to send it up to vaxherd. Running next, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna, the Golden Country.
Woo! Woo! Thank you. Okay, so actually, before we start, why don't I get that first voice incentive? Who's the current leader?
The current leader is Japanese with $285 and English at $55.54.
So Japanese it will be. All right.
We're going full anime.
Oh, yes.
So actually,
best
things are going to get pretty busy as soon as we start. So why don't we do a quick round of introductions? I am vaxherd. You guys?
I'm Bo the Hero. I'm back again, sorry.
I'm Gedrith.
I'm the Gran.
All right, and
We also have a quick shout out to Gren behind us, by the way. He's a big runner of
big runner of
Xenoblade
Xenoblade,
Legend.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all great guys. And so, this is going to be Torna, the Golden Country in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo! Okay, so we got a lot of cover right off the bat. So as in every Xenoblade game, we get thrown straight into combat. So there's been a lot of combat changes since Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I saw last year. The biggest thing right now is there's a new thing called switch arts. So as you can see on the screen, now you don't use your blade's weapon anymore. The blade's weapon stays on them. They also can attack and sometimes get messed up on rocks. So as we're going through the tutorials here, most things still work the same. You auto attack quickly to build up a gauge.
Yeah.
You can cancel auto attacks into a ability to do extra damage.
And also, we can you can do cancelling of your auto attack rotation by by stutter stepping to kind of consistently build up your arts quickly as well.
Yeah, just like in Xenoblade Blade 2.
So you can see down in the bottom left corner, there's Laura's icon and Jin's has a bar building up around it. So that is the switch arch cooldown. So once it's fully maxed out, you can switch in with Jin and control him. The move itself does a decent amount of damage, but almost every single one of them has a part of the driver combo attached to it. For this one, Jin does topple. Laura can apply break, so then with break you go in the topple goes in the launch goes in the smash.
Yeah.
So now with Jin, you can see his damage is
Huge.
amazing and excellent, as some would say.
Yeah. So it should be noted as well that there are a few properties to the Switch that are very important. So HP and healing is very, very different in this. On the HP bar on the top left-hand side, you'll see where Jin's name is. When you lose HP, you'll see a red bar building. When you switch, you gain back the red bar, as long as it's still there.
A very important tidbit as well is, so Jin has a very special ability. So every time you do a switch art with Jin and Laura, or even if you have Haze, which is Laura's other blade that she'll get later on, he incrementally will increase his attack damage for everybody in the party. So we'll be using that quite a bit throughout the run to do some amazing damage. Also, here's a level 4 that is forced on us, though one of the few times you will see a level 4.
Yeah, so the damage, the way it works is that when you do level 1s, 2s, and 3s, the blades and the teams that we're going to be having, because like the characters in this game are set into teams technically. So the teams will basically jump into the specials together and deal a little bit more damage. Now there's a special way that vaxherd's going to basically set up an encounter here a little bit early to get a bit more experience and also try and get some drops from the enemies. So there's a big part of this game that we're going to talk about when it becomes relevant, but side quests are very, very important here. So over the course of approaching this, we're going to be looking for a lot of drops and a lot of items to allow us to either make weapons in forging, but also to complete these side quests as we go.
Yep.
There's a lot of prep on the way through.
Now, one very nice drop that may or may not happen is something called a rigid vest that could drop here. So depending on the rarity of it, it just gives extra HP that makes the next upcoming boss fight a lot safer. So the next boss is called Gargoyle, and he is at level 8, and we're going to fight him at level 3. And it is very important that we get breaks and topples on him, because if we don't, we're not going to be doing a lot of damage, and he hurts after a point, and you can't out-heal his damage.
So yeah, we kept the aggro on and the encounters on to get that early fight. Getting level 3 does unlock skills for our enemies, but we've now turned encounters off, or at least the aggro on encounters. So there will be encounters if we engage, but they will not engage upon us.
Unless we run by a unique monster. Unique monsters automatically aggro no matter what setting you have. So right now he's gained some few extra experience and drops as well. So he'll be going up ahead a little bit here in a second, and it will unlock another new system, a crafting system, which you do at campsites in this game. So instead of, while the inn still exists in this game, like in the core game, now there's a lot of camps spread out everywhere. That's how you get your rest of the XP now, as well as you have a crafting option, and you can talk to your teammates, but we're not really going to be worrying about that at all this run.
Okay.
Yeah, so something important to mention is that on the first fight against the wolf, you can have more than one wolf come at you and attack you, and that wastes time because you only really need 2 drops for this quest right here.
This is a point where we're going to be grabbing some items then, so vaxherd's going to be needing to like count, so we'll need to like let him just focus a little bit whilst he does this collection section.
And we're gonna hear Laura a lot saying that line.
Aren't we intrepid? In terms of narrative, very very quickly, this is a prequel to the original game. So like in main game, it does talk about about Torna and like the Tornan War, like the Aegis War that happened during the Age of Torna. So this is explaining exactly what happened during that time. So just as a basic, Laura is just a young driver who opened the core crystal with Jin inside, and she's just roaming around. She has no allegiance to anything. She's just like running around the Tornan Titan right now. So she has no allegiance. She has nothing major. She jumps it. She finds a young Mikhail here, and is basically like looking after him with Jin.
Yeah, and they're kind of broke, so that's why they're passing weapons around, because like
Laura
doesn't have weapon.
Yeah, it should be noted as well, yeah, but during this time, the concept of fighting, of a driver fighting with a blade's weapon isn't known to many people. No one does it. So as LGG said, that because they're just knackered on the money front, she hasn't got a weapon. She's got the weird like spindle that she's using with like the wire and the edge on the tip to hit with. She does utilize Jin's blade as well.
So now we're heading towards the next boss, but on the way we're going to collect a lot of flowers, wood, bugs, ore, and
Fruits?
fish. No, we already got the fish.
Yeah.
We get fish later on. But those are the 4 big ones that we'll be gathering on the way, as well as getting fast travel points, but those are mostly mandatory on the way over.
Should be noted that there's loads that is kind of like coming through from the main game as well. So you can see, field arts or field skills that we need to do. We need to hit certain points to be able to continue progressing, as you saw there, being able to chop down the tree. So leveling up our blades in certain ways, both the arts to deal more damage in battle, but also their field skills to be able to progress is going to be something that's going to be rolling as we go.
Yeah, and something interesting to see is that in this game, well, the blade also have arts, obviously, because there is, when you switch to the blade's arts, and you can improve their art as well.
Yeah,
that's the main game.
That's the thing as well. Yeah, I don't think we actually properly mentioned it. When you do switch up the combat. To fight, obviously, with our blade, we do take over them. So we actually are playing as the blade, which is, if you're a fan of the original game and always wanted to play as the blades, you get that kind of like element to the game as well, and it's just nice, I guess.
So one quick thing, a quick shout out to Nazi, if he's watching. Nazi did the original route for this game, was one of the first runners as well for New Game. So shout out to him for pretty much laying the foundation for what this is now. When this run actually first started, it was not marathon safe at all. So many of the bosses could just easily kill you, especially near the end. And the final boss in the game, if you die on this final stage, you have to do it all over again, and it just takes a while. But since Vax has been onto this game, he has optimized a lot and made everything a lot safer.
Yeah.
So coming up right here, we have a small little cutscene going into Gargoyles. So the big important thing, like I said earlier, for Gargoyles is we want to get breaks and topples on him. Because with Jin has a very special 3. His special 3 does extra damage for higher level boss enemies. That's going to be a huge deal, stacking that on top of a topple, which also already gives damage multiplier. So we're going to do a level 2 here since we don't have enough for 3, but every time we do a switch art, that also adds on to our special gauge so we can get higher levels. And like I said earlier as well, every time we do a switch art with Jin, he increases the attack of the whole party. So as we'll do this, we're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger.
It caps out at 250% bonus, so it's a total of 3.5 times damage, which is busted. Like, I'll preempt it now. Jin is busted.
Yeah, he's supposedly the strongest blade in Torna, and that's really true.
So sadly, he did not get a break there, so he went for a level 1 on Laura, which is the appropriate response, and he needs to grab some heals because it's getting a little iffy. But starting up soon, we're going to be hitting a very high amount of damage now with the multiplier that we're slowly getting. With the next switch, it shouldn't be a problem anymore.
Yeah, as long as we can survive.
Ooh, another missed break though. Yeah, he needs that health.
This is really just a DPS race.
Ooh. That got a little scary.
It's okay, it's fine. It's fine.
That's Gargoyle.
And you can see the experience is huge at this point too.
So we go straight into our next boss though, of Adam and Mythra. So Adam is a character referenced quite a bit in the core game as being the first driver of the Aegis. Well, here he is. We actually have a model for him instead of being in a clone. So we're going to target down Mythra first. Mythra is the threat of the two of them. She does a lot of damage, and she also has a high dodge rate. So you want to take her down as fast as possible.
And we also got a new art on Lord that allows her to do AoE, so it's going to build up some damage on Adam. Although it's not that important, it should drop him down like 2/3 of his HP.
Also, Adam has the very nasty habit of doing a little stutter on you.
Oh. Which is bad.
So sometimes he can just stagger you a little bit when you hit him. There's several bosses in this game that can do it, but Adam's the trouble child right now.
Yeah, you can see the amount of experience we gained in that first fight, going up to level 10. So up on level there. So that is quite quick. Getting rid of Mythra, as Gabrith mentioned, makes that fight a lot easier. Narratively, it should be mentioned that Adam is quite an important character to Torna. I'm not sure when it's actually mentioned, but I'm going to throw it out now. Why not? He's the Prince of Torna. Quite important. And he is, as we mentioned, the driver of the Aegis. It's kind of interesting as well, because this is like back in the past. There's a lot of kind of like figuring out a lot more about characters we already know about, how Mythra became the person that she is in the main game. So not only do we get access to Adam and Mythra, wow. We also do get the third member of Team Laura, which is Hayes, a blade which very strangely looks exactly like Laura. This is quite interesting. But she's our healer. She's wind element. We'll talk a bit more about elements as it goes on, because it becomes very important for combat, especially the final fight, which I love the strats of, by the way. But yeah, so Hayes, the game is the way that the party as a whole is working is that there are 3 teams of 3 people, 3 drivers, and then 6 blades, and they all join for different reasons. So,
introducing talent arts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing to bring up, because now they're actually available, is every driver and blade has an actual special art that they can do. Laura's is reducing her activating the cooldowns on everything. Adam's is he can prolong a driver combo, make it last a lot longer. Mythra gives everybody a dodge for a set amount of time.
Hayes can like stun enemies and lock them in place. They can't do any action for a set amount of time. Yeah. There are usually caveats to that. So you look at Laura's HP right now. Vaxherd starts by getting all of his skills back, but it sacrifices 50% of Laura's HP. Now, whilst that sounds pretty bad, if you're in control of the fight, that's really, really good and very, very helpful. However, casual players may find that if they aren't controlling Laura and she just does it, she can find herself in a very tricky situation.
Yeah, so all the AIs will use their special arts all the time by themselves. And I think about half of them reduce HP by half. So it's very unfortunate when you're doing well in the fight and all of a sudden Laura's dead.
Yeah. It's a thing that happens.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Laura's dead, oh well.
I ended up just controlling her for most of my casual playthrough because I got tired of it. And then also learned that Hayes, while she is a great healer, does also a lot of damage.
Also, if I could interject for a sec, now that we have Mythra, we also have access to the second donation incentive, which is Mythra's costume. So if I could just get a confirmation on what that looks like right now.
Actually, I can give you a couple confirmations here.
All right.
You see, we did get a handful of donations. One of them was a $230 donation from Solaris.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome. It did not have a message, but the message was loud and clear. Please put it on English,
Oh, all right.
My man.
That is entirely doable.
as English is now ahead by 54 cents over Japanese.
All right.
Come on.
Oh, it's begun.
English it is, you guys.
And currently, Smash Bros. Ultimate is way ahead of normal.
All
right
right.
now.
Well, in that case,
It's also pretty good because it does actually really help her. They added costumes to this game, and the costumes are normally for the character. They are used to bolster specific attributes to that character that helps out. So the critical rate is increased by 23% for Mythra for equipping her outfit, which is great.
And
Also, there's
Mythra really likes critical.
Yep. Also, there's a small little issue with the skin. So they made the same skin over in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So the little plot point in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is half of Mythra and Pyra's Aegis core is missing because it's in Rex. Well, for some reason that shows up in this game, so it makes no sense because she still should have a full core crystal.
Interesting community as well. We just saw it. Every time you clear a quest, some people are going to join your community, and there's a lengthy animation for it. We just reduced that by like a half.
Yeah, so if we didn't turn it off, it's every time you just talk to somebody, it adds them into the menu. If you turn it off, you only get for when you finish somebody's quest, and it gets added into the community now.
And this will be a very important part of the run, and part of the routing of this that that Vax and Nazi and everyone has worked upon is about getting these side quests working as we go and making them like as kind of like bunched together as possible. Specifically as well, narratively, we are trying. I should mention that Laura is looking for her mother, and that's a very important part of her kind of character motivation early on, and why we go to the places we go to.
But why are we building our community and doing side quests? It's we're trying to go fast. Why do we do side quests?
So main story is locked behind having certain community levels. For the first one, you have to have community level 2 to do Malos first. And then at the end, you have to have community level 4 to be able to go to the final boss. So we have to we picked and choose the most optimal ones to do, which happen to be less combat, unfortunately. We've opted for collectibles and doing driver coaching and blade coaching, which we get along the way, going through bosses and a few extra little fights for farming meat from the wolves, which is what we're fighting now.
Yeah, but it's very, very. It feels like. I know that when casually you get met with a massive wall, but if you'd done this as you go, it would have been a lot less. So that's why we're bunching it all together in little pockets, so that we can clear as much as possible, so it's not as much of a grind end game. So this is one of those. Clear these volves and make this area a little bit safer.
And then on top of this, we have the first driver coaching quest, which is do 3 topples. So the caveat, though, is the topple has to be done by the character you're controlling. So it has to be from Jing, effectively, right now.
Yeah, so we try and get a break. If we don't get it, try and reset and try and go for another break here. And then if it lands, which it does, maybe. Oh, he hasn't used it just yet. There's a hungry snake.
So here there is
There we go.
And there's a topple.
there is five. There is 5 chances to get a topple here, and we need 5. So if we don't, then we're going to do an extra fight.
Yeah, we want to get this done by the time that we're leaving to go to the next area. So we're going down into this cave down here. It's for another quest called the Barney Stones. So Barney Stones are pretty much effectively like arena fights that happen. So you'll have usually around 3 waves of enemies that will spawn in that you pretty much just have to clear them out. So once again, we're going to try and get some topples here, as well as the bird enemies, which are in the second phase. We want to get vibrant feathers for them, because that gives us an item that we can make off of Atom that increases our running speed by 10%. 10% doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a big deal in this run.
It builds up for sure, especially considering the size of some of the areas and how much running around we have to grab to get items when it comes to foraging and all that kind of stuff. How are you feeling there, Vax?
Nice.
I think he's in the zone.
Yeah. combat is combat is really fast-paced in this because it's a shorter game, right? It's DLC. They changed a lot of it about. So they really wanted to make the fighting faster. They couldn't rely on things like having to finish off entire combos to get one orb. An orb appears on enemies. We'll talk about orbs a bit if you don't know too much about orbs from the first game. Orbs are basically whenever you complete a special to increase the blade combo, you get an orb that when you do a big chain attack, which is using the gauge on the top left, you can increase and continue the chain attack by breaking orbs, by using either the opposite element to break the orbs quickly, or just like hammering on one alone. So orbs are very important, but they're built up a lot more speedy in this game. So the fights feel a lot more fast-paced.
Yeah, and combined with Laura's talent, it also increases stuff really
Now,
fast.
another thing to point out, though, for the orb system, so in the core game, when you're progressing orbs, you have to go through pretty much a chart. Like, you pretty much, if you start with a fire orb, you can either go into a fire or a water orb, stuff like that. In this game, they took that out. There's a blade combo that you can do in which you build off of that way, but you can just throw out abilities all you want, get up to 3, go from there.
Yeah, I think you're dealing much more damage if you do the actual combo.
Yes.
But like,
so the combos, the named combos actually deal additional damage for pretty much following the diagram. Now, of course, they took the diagram out of this game, so you have to effectively already know what makes the combos.
Yeah, and that is part of the DLC. But yeah, as you mentioned, the ones that are named, I think the most obvious one, I guess, is Fire, Water, Fire. For Steam Explosion, like these kind of things where, because they have like an extra animation which is an actual like fiery explosion, which is additional damage, and the damage that comes out of those blade combo specials will be based on how much damage is going into the actual special you use. So when it comes to characters like Mythra or Jin, who are very, very powerful, have a high crit rate, the more you crit, the more damage you do, the more that special will eventually like explode with. Yeah, which is brilliant when it goes well.
if you remember, if you watched Xenoblade last year when Bowie was writing it, that's pretty much effectively what he was trying to set up for a lot of the runs using, what's his name?
Wolfric.
Oh, yeah.
Arrow Boy.
So we are slightly
LGG,
short
yeah.
on flowers here, which is why I'm farming these points.
Yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately, with it being a lot of collectibles, you have to keep track and kind of know your little backup spots for a lot of things. So what he was getting there, was it lilies that you're short on?
Yeah, lilies.
Yeah, so lilies are used to make the run speed increase, which we desperately need, and for some reason have a really bad drop rate, but sometimes you can just get all of them in one batch. So it's
Sometimes
strange.
I've gotten 3 from a single pull,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just don't get any at all.
It's just Puzzle Tree Wood all over again. I'm pretty sure the gentleman behind me would remember that
Except
one.
we get to do this. We get to do that puzzle wood like 15 times in this run.
Yeah, so you need 10 puzzle wood. Well, no, you do need 15.
We do need puzzle wood, but only 3. We need 10 of a couple other things. Though.
Yeah. So for various quests. So since we were out the community system, like I said, we've handpicked a lot of the quests, so we don't do a lot of combat. Combat is slow and normal, right? For obvious reasons. The enemies have a lot of HP. Collecting doesn't take a lot of time. So most of the side quests that we're going to be doing are going to be handing in collectibles, making food. Sometimes we'll be running around picking people up, stuff like that. And then on top of that, we'll be doing the driver and blade combo coaching. So that's to take place of what we would have had to do another chain, which will have involved having to do, I believe, 3 separate fights.
Thank you.
Of Goggles, which are big monkeys, hard to kill. We took that out for this. Turns out to be a lot faster, and then along the way, we can use those while we're farming stuff like meat and various other things, as well as getting experience, because experience is really important for this whole route to work.
So something I'm going to just throw out there just because I think it's funny, but there are hidden all around. You might see these green barrels. They're a part of like a larger side quest, which I think was like one of those ones that was really, really annoying to try and find all of these barrels because you had to break them. I remember some people thinking, "Is this a good one to go for?" No, no.
We even back when I was looking at when I was routing New Game Plus, we even brought up maybe we should do that one. I was like, I'm pretty sure, even though the barrels are going to count, that he's locked behind something. And yeah, he ends up being locked behind community level 4, which once we have that, we can go finish the game anyways. So So we're in Gourmat, if you remember this from the core game. The music's changed a little bit. There's not a giant city.
Better music.
But, yes, it has gotten better. But so on the way to Torgoth Village, we are going to do some extra collecting. We're going to kill this Crabble over here to get its shell for another item we need. Or maybe, oh, there.
Yep.
And then we're going to collect minerals, vegetables, and flowers again. Those are the big things that we want to get, as well as insects, if we see any.
Yeah, so we're mostly just going to go from collection point A to collection point B, and instead of just going in a straight line towards the next objective, because have a lot of things to collect.
So Crabbles are probably, it's generally the first enemies that you fight in most Xenoblade games that have resistances depending on the side you attack them in. So for Crabbles, if you attack them from the side or the back, they actually have additional armor than just attacking from the front. So since he got the shell he needed, he doesn't need to fight the other one, so he's just going to run away from it.
Sorry. You should just mention that the voice acting in this is fantastic, by the
Yes.
way. They actually saw the cutscenes.
Has the voice acting changed up?
Oh, we are still good with the voice acting. English is currently in the lead.
Okay.
But if you do have some time, we got a few donations we could catch up on.
Probably fit in one or two now.
Sure, real quick. We will do $25 from Koraya Ren. I'm bipolar and suffer from social phobia. I'm so glad to see a community willing to rally to raise awareness about mental illness. Fight the stigma. And then we got $10 donations from Poorly Written and Arashi with no messages. Thank you very much. And then we got $25 from CJ Stevenson. I played through Phantom Brave a long time ago. Glad to see this game isn't forgotten.
So we're picking up a quest here called Dr. Miasma Slayer that we're going to be doing throughout all of Gourmat, which is the stuff we've already been killing, the wolves. It's just killing more of them for a quest, and then doing it will get a community member out of it. So since we already need to kill them, we're just going to do some more along the way.
I should also mention, like, I know it maybe isn't as technical for the actual speed run, but the actual mechanic of the community narratively is that, you know, Adam is meant to be like, you know, like the people's prince kind of thing. He's like, he goes out there and he tries to help the people rather than being like a bureaucrat sitting on his throne. It's all about him trying to understand the people he's trying to save and look after and protect. And it really kind of like adds to him as a character, and it gives, you know, it gives you a little bit more understanding about what he does and why he does it, which I think is a very nice like mechanical narrative mix.
I do like that his aspiration isn't actually to even do any of this. He just wants to be a farmer.
Yeah.
Somebody that was born in this big royal family, and he
Yeah.
just wants to farm the land.
Yeah.
And a fun thing as well is that like it also builds about the world. Like you have to learn about the people, learn about their interaction. So it really builds up the tragedy that's going to come up at some point. Because like spoiler, Torna is going to get destroyed.
Yeah. So and you get some,
Wow.
I didn't know this.
I mean, it's in the main game. I'm not really spoiling that much.
But you get some really neat storylines. You get some very sad ones as well that kind of foreshadow the upcoming events.
Yeah, speaking of sad, this is Torgoth Village. So before it becomes a bustling city, you know, we're going to go check over here, and we can see that it's just been destroyed in a recent raid. So as we said, Laura is looking for her mother and got tipped off that her mother might have been around here. So I believe it's the bracelet that she has was made.
The
necklace.
charm.
Yeah, the necklace charm. Was made by her mother, so she wants to find her basically, and got tipped off that she could be here. Gets to the village, and finds out that it's knackered, which isn't good.
I like that word so much.
Yeah. So chips return. Obviously, we can use these to buff up the damage. So whenever you have a look at like, you know, the base damage that you see on the weapon, like the auto attack damage, does add into every part of the damage formula. So
Also, a Fendi charts are back, and there's a few things that we kind of would like, but nothing's really mandatory in the round that much anymore. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to find, unfortunately, a graveyard of everybody. One poor soul spent pretty much the last of his life digging everybody a grave but his own.
yeah. You should notice as well, we equipped the Affinity Max Attack 1, I think it was, onto Jin. This increases the attack damage dealt when Affinity is max. So again, just like in the main game, there's a beam between Driver and Blade. When that goes from blue to gold, Affinity Max is achieved, and then anything that is affected on Affinity Max goes into play. So I think it's plus 20% attack power, I think, at level 1.
Something like that.
Yeah. So it's increasing the attack damage dealt by that percentage.
And also you can use level 4 attacks.
Yes.
So we fast traveled back, and we're actually going to go into another boss fight of... There we go, Bridget. She's back as a boss fight.
Kind of similar to how we met her in the main game as well. It's a nice echo to that for sure.
So we want, once again, to get a topple on there. We want to get that extra damage in. The thing is, she has a guard rate. Guard rate, when it happens, deflects you back. That can happen even on when you're about to do a break. You're hitting that last move, you get deflected back, doesn't matter.
That's what happened just there.
Unfortunately, Bridge is dodging pretty well right now.
Come on.
There we go.
Mythra just getting annoyed in the corner. So Mythra's a much more fiery character now. She's always been, of that kind of disposition, but this is very much a growing game for her. You can see her really mature a little bit because she's very erratic, very doesn't really control her powers very well, and Adam's just trying to temper her.
She's kind of a simpleton.
So between Mythra and Laura, the side mobs can pretty much get killed just by the AoEs, and here we go with a level 4. So once again, this also applies the bonus to higher level, so it's about to be a lot of damage.
But you see that gauge going down quick. Topple, very nice, and then
a launch.
And again, the AI are very much up for going for the combos. So you'll see you use the launch there, and then Adam would probably switch to Mythra, who has a massive kaboom to smash as well, which is very nice.
Yeah, something really nice that was introduced in Torna is that compared to main game, you really couldn't do much outside of break topple. Now in this game, because of switch arts that all have either break, topple, launch, or smash, it's really, really easy to build that up and get the smash.
Hey, look, it's Little Marth again. Little Marth is back. Little Marth, or Hugo, is basically... so when it comes to... If you played main game, the Emperor of Mor Ardain is Little Marth, and is the brother to Morag, the Inquisitor. Who's best character? Yeah. So Hugo, Little Marth, is basically looks exactly the same, but he's combat ready. So it really does show a little bit more interest how back in the day. Everyone, all blades and drivers, were much more combat ready together. Where in main game, it's kind of how the blade creates the opportunity for a driver to be combat ready. But Adam himself is, a trained warrior. Hugo is a trained warrior as well, even though he is the Emperor himself.
Yeah,
but,
Hugo. It's explained in dialogue between him and Adam. Is both of them don't want to be in the positions they are. Hugo doesn't want to be Emperor. He actually is a die-hard warrior. He wishes that's all he could be for the rest of his life. But with how Imperial Ascension is, he can't just advocate the throne. It's not a thing that happens. So he works with it, but tries to get as much field time as possible.
I should mention this is a great time to look at all the the in-jokes that the game has and all the references that it has. There's in terms of the naming of locations that we have in the main game, or particular lines that you may remember from the main game that are represented here. We might hear Hugo throw out a good line or two, or references. One I will say is look out for the High Inquisitor. Is it High Inquisitor or Chief Inquisitor?
High Inquisitor.
Yeah, the High Inquisitor. Look out for the High Inquisitor.
Special Inquisitor.
There's a Special Inquisitor. Sorry, yes. Look out for the Special Inquisitor because you'll see different, specific, interesting designs in his costume that Morag has in hers, and those kind of references all throughout the game, and really just deepen the experience if you're coming from main game.
So right now, going to this Ropal fight, you're actually not supposed to have Laura and Hayes in your party. They're supposed to stay back and do some work in Torgoth, but you can pretty much add them back in. It's just when you go in the advanced storyline, they're going to go off for a very specific reason, and honestly, one of my favorite fights in the game.
Yeah.
But so far, this is going pretty well for the Ropal. He can be kind of mean doing that, but do that a lot.
So far, it's been quite nice, and it's going to go down very quickly. Very nice fight.
And by the way, that's the thing that destroyed the Torgoth village. So that's why you killed it.
Yeah, and you can see all of the damage it's causing Gourmat as well. So a reminder that these Titans are living, breathing creatures. So,
So
Gourmat has a rash, it seems.
So that little cutscene that we skipped there is actually a really big, important one. It's pretty much showing, I can't think of his name for the life of me.
Amalthus.
Amalthus, his rise to power in the Imperium, or
Yeah, because
somewhere.
Praetorium.
Praetorium. There we go.
Right about
'cause he wasn't always in charge of it. He was actually a very low-level grunt for a while.
he's just the one that found the core of the ages.
And
at the time.
he also, it shows him slowly also starting to work on Blade Eaters as well.
Yeah, you can really see in this game that he's becoming the villain that he is in Xenoblade 2. Spoiler, he's the villain.
So right here is the Blade combo coaching. So once again, so Blade combos is when you put on the orbs, you're making sure that the next one you go into is a named one. So you have to do 5 of those, I believe 5.
Yes, 5.
So we'll have to do 5 of those, and we're going to aim to try to get that done before we leave here, because the next coaching is immediately in the area we go to. So here's my favorite fight, Gort. So Gort is you only fight with Laura and Hayes, and you fight him 3 of his other grunts, which all dodge really well. So you just want to throw out as many AoEs as you can, and you pretty much once you can get up to Hayes, while Laura's great damage, Hayes' heal is immediate. Just you can heal up so much of your health so quickly. And she has one of the quicker recharge rates as well as her level 1 special is upon hit heal up a percent of the damage done. Well, that includes everything that gets hit. So if you can line it up well enough and hit all 4 of them with it, your HP is pretty much immediately capped.
Yeah, Hayes is really, really good, but we're not going to use her too much because she doesn't do as much DPS as Jin and Laura.
She requires some setup to get as good as like you would want with her. So we're going for a talent art here, which can sometimes get risky because when it does half your HP, it's half of your current HP, not your max. That was a very good fight.
Yeah. AoE connecting quite a lot on the ads there.
That's ideal, getting so many of those guys hit and even dying to a lot of the AoEs.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Gort is Laura's dad. He's not nice.
He also had his arm removed by Jin many years ago, and then put in the implant, which got removed post to that fight.
Yeah. So you may remember a cutscene. If not, I can explain it. Where basically he has a bunch of core crystals, and basically Gort abuses Laura's mum. So Laura opens the core crystal in like a fit of like panic, and then Gort is like, oh, come here, I'm gonna slice you up, kind of thing, and then Jin just turns around and slices his arm straight off and vows to protect Laura from that point on. So that's kind of like the story or the origin story between Laura and Jin's relationship as a driving blade.
It's also slowly revealed that Jin's actually a legendary Torna blade, which is why he's currently wearing the mask. Laura crafted that so he could hide his identity, which I don't know if a mask would be great at it since they have pictures of him in his full armor.
Yeah, the full armor, yeah.
but
I can't see the face, so
it's working. So.
Also, so all blades have core crystals somewhere, and Jin's is on his forehead, which the mask conveniently covers. So
like
there are actually some dialogues that people mistaken him as a human and not a blade.
The core crystal is the big signifier of a blade. You could just say that someone grew their hair out that way and wears that armor. So unless you can identify with the core crystal, then can you really say that they are who they are?
So throughout this now, for the rest of Gourmat, we're going to be doing a lot of side quests on top of a main story quest, which is effectively a side quest. So the main story quest is this: you find this little boy. We hear a rumor that there's a missing little boy, and we're going to go out and try to find him. And then on top of this, we're going to talk to Hassan here. He really, really just loves the specific type of food, and he wants us to go out and make it. And so he gives us an old recipe, which we're going to have Jin make. Later on, we're going to go back to him, and he's like, well, I have this one I've been trying out. Can you all try it? And then we have the brilliant idea of let's let Mythra cook it, because that goes so well with food.
Mythra is a great cook. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, if you want to eat what she does, then fine.
I think there's a key dialogue of her when you craft that hunger is the best spice.
Yeah. One of her items is actually I think it's like nearly fatal cookies or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like something like that.
Just like in Tales of Games, where you have like characters that can't
Yeah,
really
no,
cook, they are just going to do some weird mix. Mythra does the same, just really weird mix. Yeah.
So here's what we're going to be farming a lot of our blade combos on. So these two Ferrises, they have a good amount of HP, don't do a lot of damage. So conveniently enough, well, you can hit this one. From this platform, you can actually hit the one that's below it as well.
Just like
But we
that.
still want the meat that drops from these, as well. These are the quest objectives from the doctor that we got talked to earlier.
And also, there is a bunch of collectible spots around here, and there is a bunch of stuff that we need from these spots. So that's pretty convenient as well.
Yeah. You should note as well that, you can see Vax is going pretty heavy despite he's only got like 100 HP, but we should mention that Hugo is a tank, by the way, so he's taking all of the aggro. So we can play a little bit more aggressive at this point. Got to be careful sometimes because Jin does such a hugely, a ginormous amount of damage that he can pull aggro, but Hugo will do it for the most part.
The nice thing with Hugo's talent is that he has a lock on. It's a lock on art.
Yeah,
so,
guaranteed lock on him. Yeah.
so
Another
good.
thing to bring up for the blade combo is when you're doing the blade combo level 2, the ending has to not kill them. If it kills them, it does not count. They have to be able to survive the 2 combo for it to count, which is very, very annoying.
Yeah, this whole quest is really annoying to do overall, and it's still in the route because it's actually not so bad to do because we have so many fights. We just can have this side of objective to do.
We
during
have
the
so
fights.
much grinding and other materials we need to get. It fits in better than doing the other quests to get the other fights, because those fights you have to go a little bit out of your way. They have a lot more HP because those are around 35, I believe the level is for those.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, this is a lot faster to do. I believe, if I'm remembering right from Naz's run, between him having that to when he removed it for blade combo, it saved like 15 minutes. And also, it was still in the middle of optimization, so that also counts for the big jump. But it was a substantial, noticeable difference.
Yeah, because that's like
And
not just for one person in the community. It's for 2 people.
And then on top of that, Vaz here is optimized it so much more.
Yeah,
A little,
He's been playing.
Just a teeny bit.
He's been playing this game a lot ever since he arrived and decided to do runs of this game.
So we're making 2 survival sandwiches. That's going to be for a later on quest, as well as a trout and then the was it tiki? Is it tiki masala or something? It's something similar but named differently in this world for the guy that we talked to earlier. As well as we made the salvage machine for Hugo that lets us go to silver salvage equipment.
Which
go
is
far.
helpful, very helpful here. So we can finally get mechanical parts as well. Which
So we're looking for
There are 3 types. We need the rare, which we got. We need 2 apple lamps and alloy. I think we got 1 apple lamp, so I am pulling again. And there we go.
Thankfully, this is really convenient to do, and all these go straight to this quest right up here, which we're gonna be. It's a pretty quick. It has a fight in it, but it's not hard. It's like level 20, I think.
Yeah.
But it's just turn him in equipment, do the fight, you're done with the quest, and you get a community member. Yay!
Just to point this out, during this whole collectathon, vaxherd had to keep track of 12 items, like how many he had, and if he had to do backups, where to do backups. That's difficult.
Well, we're not actually quite done. There's still a few I'm counting, but yeah, the bulk of it is out of the way.
So urchins are really annoying in this game. They have armor. They can cause a knockback like there, and then you can't break them. But when they have a move that causes them to get break, if you time a topple well enough, you can actually topple them during that attack.
Yeah, you can topple them, but the problem is then you do too much damage and you miss the blade combo.
Yes.
I would very
Which
much
is-
like to topple them because it's so much fun to topple guys that are self-breaking, but
Yeah.
can't do it here because quests.
Yes.
Community game.
Yep.
That's so sweet.
it is.
Okay, so menu time, by the way. Since it's menu time, I might as well check, has the voice option changed?
The voice option has not changed,
All
although
right.
we've gotten several donations. English is ahead right now with 310.54 over
Damn it,
Japanese at
boy.
285.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, then things will stay right where they are.
Aren't we intrepid? It's my favorite line from her. I love that.
When you've got it,
Wait.
I shall aim ever higher.
No.
The culmination of years of sovereignty.
Oh. So Morag says the culmination of years of training. So it's nice that they have that kind of like link there.
And then also, we didn't explain it earlier, so besides having Bridget, Hugo also has the Gion, the two royal blades for the Empire.
Yeah, so Aegeon is again evasion blade, and Bridget is much more DPS oriented tank.
And the block tank as
Yeah.
well. So, also, if you remember in Xenoblade, if you played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so Bridget has a lot more of a relaxed personality. In this game, she is very aggressively caretaking of Hugo. She will do anything in her power.
Little
to make
Marth. You got to look after Little Marth.
But it's a big show, so every time the driver passes away, a blade returns to her core crystal and loses all their memories. So there's a huge, you can already see a huge difference from Bridget already, and it's a big actual plot point for her in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, to the point of asking Jin later on if she's still relatively the same compared to the Bridget he knew, and he said pretty much. Like, there was differences, but you still remind me of her. Also, so, once again, just another side quest that's a quick little fight. Pretty much this guy just really wants to fight you for some reason.
Yeah,
And
he's
you're
just like, please.
okay, cool.
Fight me, bro. Yeah. It's,
Also, get used to seeing this one a lot, because Ultimate Aurora is really good.
So we were saying that it's all about how much damage you put in, and when the damage that comes out is large. So yeah, he's gone. Yeah, so you can see, also, you may notice every now and then when you see the damage numbers come up that there's like a little spark around the edge of the number. This means that you've got a specific potential within a moveset to like deal more or more damage. So for example, if a move deals more damage from the side when you land it, or deals more damage to a top or enemy, that little spark will come up showing that you have met those requirements to deal the bonus damage. Which just means that you're doing great.
Yep.
So we're going to turn the other food quest and get the other recipe that's going to go horribly, horribly wrong.
It's just too delicious.
Just too good.
It's too good. But the food I remember was rubbish. Like,
Yeah, Jin is just too good of a chef, and then Mythra's
yeah,
awful.
she's like, stand back, lad, stand back. I got this.
And then you give it to him, he's like, no. Ugh, so much worse.
There's a quest that we're not gonna do that is a cooking contest.
Oh,
and,
God,
Oh,
that's
I
so
wish we
good.
could do that, man.
yeah, and Mythra participated in it. And
And
they
he
have
sends
to.
her food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the
It's
dubious
worth
food.
watching, but not in the speedrun.
Yeah.
It's like the dubious food in Breath of the Wild. Pretty much the same thing.
I do like that the game still has a very, very strong sense of humor. Like, I think that's one of the things I really enjoyed about this game, because they're always really, really heavy, and like the philosophical approach to like some parts of the narrative in both the main game and this are very, very strong. They really, really lighten the tone by having very, very good humor throughout. So it's nice.
There's a whole fight between Bridget and Mythra, and by the way, Mythra just gets roasted all the time.
Yeah, she gets bodied by everyone.
I love all of Hayes' comments to Mythra, because she's just like throwing really low-key shade at her
Yeah.
constantly.
I know there's a reason you like Hayes, and it's just because
She is so smug, and it's great.
She's like a really sweet girl, but then she's just got this level of like edge, which is just go in.
No, she just can hone in on somebody's insecurity so easily.
Yeah, the whole team is great. I love them. I love the one.
And the thing is like Adam doesn't really stop it. Like, she lets her really feel that, because she's so confident in herself, because she's the Aegis, right? She's like, oh, I'm the best ever. And then it's just everyone just knocks her down to size, and it's just the relationship that Adam has with her is so wildly different to the one that Rex has with Mythra as well. So you can see like the growth of those two relationships. And I think it's really, really nice to see.
I mean, Adam's pretty much a father figure for her. So at this point, Mythra is like a year old. Since her awakening.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more of like a parental feel with Adam because he will like tell her to stop doing things and start nagging her, being like, "You do not do this. Stop. Like control yourself."
Because like if you think about it, a lot of the important relationships when it comes to blades and drivers that we've seen throughout the game. If you look at Rex, obviously Empire and Mythra. You look at like Jin and Laura and how there's such a profound sense of love between them. So then to have such a different dynamic between Blade and Driver, how it's almost like you say father figure, teacher, trying to like educate Mythra about how this all goes. It's a very interesting thing because Adam is such a jovial character. He's such a joker and he's just a laugh. He's absolutely hilarious. We should know. He is so funny, and the voice acting for him is incredible. But then he does have this like such profound core to him, and what he brings to her is just not relevant to the speed run.
Yes.
I mean, we're just grinding people. So
we're still.
Right
it's
now,
still
We
effectively
need one more
trying
beast
to get.
mean, so I'm getting here.
So we're getting close to being done. We got one more crafting to do and a few more people to talk to. Yeah. Also, Hugo getting Gion getting bodied. Yeah. It happens. You'll see the glow from him quite often.
Maybe we could, if we have some time, throw over to High Spirits if there's a donation or two, maybe.
Oh, you want donations? We got lots of donations.
Oh, sweet.
I like that.
We got here. I got a couple for you real quick. How about Jay Hinkle gave $50 and says, "I love this event and all it stands for. My brother has battled depression since our dad passed a year ago. So seeing a group of people who love games as much as we do raise money for an organization dedicated to helping those with mental illness is amazing." And then I guess the important one right now would be a $100 donation from Miss Dragon 01. It says, "Greeting from the donation station.
Hi.
Japanese, please, and thank you."
Oh. Yes! Thank you.
All right. Next time over the menu, I will do that.
LGG. Sorry, Vax, you were saying.
Japanese master race.
No.
Yes.
I think next Tales of Marathon I should just ban Japanese.
You're not getting a bid. Well, I'm taking away incentives.
They
Dang
get,
it.
They
All right,
get like
here
a
we
stream's
go.
not going to submit at that point. So
We should note that the Japanese voice acting is really good as well.
yes,
by the way.
it is excellent.
It's just that we don't
We
quite
just prefer
understand.
English.
It's more just because aren't we intrepid? I love Laura's voice. It's so lovely.
She's really cute
I'm
in
British.
Japanese
What
as
can I
well.
say? I just
I'm French, so I don't mind both.
I'm a no way.
couldn't tell.
Hey.
I'm an American savage, so whatever.
Again, I couldn't tell.
I mean, come on. I could be mistaken as Canadian. I just have to add in extra sorries.
Wow. Just diminutizing an entire country into one word.
And it's a daily basis in America.
We still love you guys.
They did change a few of the aspects. So, like, when it comes to this kind of stuff, when you activate things like forestry or mineralogy, you normally have to kind of like when you grab it, it will bounce out multiple like sparks of items to grab, but they just kind of like put it into one now. So when you do activate it, it's just like millions of things. So that just speeds up, foraging and finding things, which is very, very helpful.
Ledges are great in this game, as he just showed.
More importantly, jumping is super good in this game.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of we haven't really talked about it too much, but when it comes to like actual movement tech, there are going to be some like funny, some cool things going on later on in terms of skips and stuff. We'll talk about that later. But it's nice to kind of see the same kind of bits and pieces of clipping and jumping around here and there.
Oh, yeah, so we're doing the Lila's quest.
Yes.
There's a fun fact about Lila. Later on in Xenoblade 2, there is a place that's named after her. And that's because of this quest right here.
She's actually key, very key in another quest that you can do after community level 4.
We should also note as well that when we're meeting other blades, and that was Kaeda. Now Kaeda is actually a name.
Oh, yeah, right.
There is a blade. There is that very same design of blade. That particular design of blade, Kaeda, will always appear in the main game, but it's also always a female spear user. I've noticed, which is kind of interesting as a small thing. And it's interesting that we get Lila's blade. It's kind of cool.
Hey, didn't forget the cooking.
So here's the really, really awful food.
And that's all we need to make.
So normally, if you're playing casually, you can do rest of the EXP in the camp. We're not going to do it in the speedrun. There's not really a point outside safety. But Vaxherd doesn't care about safety. He laughs in the face of danger.
As he just did. It's just, huh?
So pretty much at this point, we're wrapping up most of this trip to Gourmat. We're going to have to come back later on for some additional quests. But we're going to be going and advancing the main story at this point.
Yeah, after that we're going back to Torna because that's where the main action takes place.
Yes.
Hey, I heard you're advancing the story coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what would be great while you're advancing the story? We did get a $100 donation from Chobin64, who did say intrepid. Oh yeah, he put that towards English also. So English will be back in the lead.
I see.
Thank you.
Well, I guess we can enjoy Japanese for a little bit longer,
Yeah.
considering there was a lovely donation towards it. So we'll give it a bit more extra time
please.
for you.
That
Just for you as well. Yeah.
that just is going to
You're going to have
give.
to Syria.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're
Just
going
going.
to have to suffer through 5.5 hours of Japanese.
Hey, we don't know yet if it's going to be Japanese or English.
And suffer is a really harsh word, I think. Suffer through. That's not very nice. It's a lovely language.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Wow.
And, yeah, I should be careful about what I talk about with Japanese on Twitch.tv.
Well, I
On the
will
internet as a
change it
whole.
over when
Oh,
we
yeah,
get
too.
back to Torna. So a couple more minutes.
So yeah, anyway, Weebs, if you're ready, just get your donations in to get Japanese back. You've got time for the next
To be
week.
fair, we should mention, I don't mean to put you in the spotlight here, Vax, although you are the runner, so you already are in the spotlight, my friend. But Vax is obviously fluent in Japanese, so understand everything.
Yeah.
But Mr. Vaxherd, you've done a lot of localization for a lot of Japanese to English games, I believe.
Yeah, I've done some work with that. I live in Japan, so it kind of comes with living there. If you spend any sort of effort at all, then you will pick up the language, and that's what I did. And I honestly play most Japanese games in Japanese just to get the original feel. But it is definitely a different feel playing in Japanese and playing in English, and it's interesting to see to kind of get the different tacks that the Japanese writers and the English localizers went for, both of which are, I'm not trying to, to say one is better than the other. Both are very good, very well done, and it's just a matter of each culture has its, its different, expectations, and it does feel to me like both of the, both the original text and English localization were written to those expectations. So even in places where they are, slightly different, if you take the actual words and look at them and say, this is wrong, it's not wrong. It's just written so that a native person of that language would understand, would get the same feeling, and that's kind of what you aim for in localization.
So speaking on the topic of localization, so for this game, since you've obviously played it both in Japanese and English, what's the biggest translation difference in this game?
The biggest one, I think, is that the English localization tends to it kind of expands on it, whereas the Japanese one, a lot of the prompts, for example, are a simple yes or no. The English one is, for example, yes, let's set off, no, wait a moment. Kind of expanding on that a little bit, giving a little more flavor to that. And in Japanese, I mean, you could do it in Japanese, but it does feel to me like a lot of Japanese games tend toward just a simple yes, no, and so I suspect that the original writer, I obviously don't know this, I don't know any of the writers, but I suspect they probably wrote more towards that expectation, which is kind of the thing you want to do when you are, making a game that you want a lot of people to enjoy. So, that is the thing that I think I would mention as the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, I was going to just mention something back to mechanically regarding this. So we just grabbed a pouch expansion kit. So you have pouches. We haven't really looked too much into pouch items because the way they work is you don't just buy them. You have to craft them. And we will be making some towards endgame to be using endgame. We haven't really used really used a huge amount just yet. But we will be using the pouch expansion to unlock 2 slots for 2 different items to really increase the possibility of combat success by increasing damage or increasing the party gauge gain, all those kind of things, and arts regen, which are very, very important.
Is English still in the lead?
Yes.
Yes,
All
English
right,
is
well-
currently in the lead, and it's even further in the lead now.
Oh my,
'cause we got
wow.
a $25 donation from Alex the Ordinary to bump it ahead a little bit more.
Well then,
Aren't we intrepid?
It didn't work.
there you go.
So we're back on Torna. We're actually in Aledo, which is Adam's
Aren't we
actual
intrepid?
like domain.
Yeah, his
It's-
little camp. Yeah.
Well, it's his mansion, quote unquote, but he's in charge of this
Aren't we
area.
intrepid?
The main city currently is occupied by his, is it father or stepfather?
I want to say stepfather.
And then his half brother is currently in that city as well. So that's another thing. So Bowie brought up that he's a prince. He's not the prince in line for the throne. His half brother is. Though his stepfather is debating about putting him in charge instead, not to his half brother's liking.
Aren't
Yeah,
we
He's
intrepid?
just much more popular and much more. He knows what his people need, while
He-
his
yeah.
half brother is really just in the palace and just doing noble stuff.
So again, doing a few more quests here. Narratively, the job is called free feeding an army. So obviously he's trying to look after the people in the group that he has around him. So we're going to be collecting some items just to be able to prepare a meal for the camp.
Also, we're getting this landmark. It's very important for a quest we'll be doing a little bit later.
Aren't we intrepid?
Aren't
we
we intrepid?
I love it. It's such a lovely voice. Oh boy, we're getting serious now. Adam's out, boys and girls.
So, and he picked up the other driver coaching earlier. So this driver coaching is smashes. So we have to switch to Adam because that's the easiest thing to do smashes on. But that means that we have to sit here and pray that Laura gets a break in and then somebody gets a topple.
Well,
Yeah, hopefully she breaks and then she'll swap over to our boy Jin, and then we will swap using Mythra's switch art, which has the smash.
Unfortunately, the break was just resisted there. So there's about, I think there will be enough HP to hopefully get another in. We'll see.
Yeah, so the problem is that there is only really Laura that can go for breaks, which is difficult when you need a smash.
Oh, another thing, so you saw that sass there a little bit ago. So blowback. Blowback is very strong in this game because it immediately interrupts an action. So if you get cooldowns reduced really quickly, like it's going to be slowly showing on Adam, Adam's really good at just blowbacking.
Topple, please,
Yeah,
topple.
come on.
It's
So
okay.
he also used Adam's Transcend there, which is his talent art, so he can slow down driver combos.
Yeah.
So
Come on.
It's pretty damn good to build. No, it's not happening.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Adam has the move basically to high rise and knock them into the air so he can swap up. So again, it's break, topple, that lift, and then smash, launch, and smash.
So he's gonna leave
Silly.
and reset this fight because at this point it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean at the start you go
yeah.
in.
The problem is that Laura switched to Hayes rather than Jin, and and Laura Hayes does not topple on switch, and so there was no real good way to get back to the to finish the combo. So I'm just gonna have to do it in a different fight.
With Team Laura, when Laura switches in, she breaks. When Jin switches in, he topples, and when Hayes switches in, she smashes. For Adam, when Adam switches in, he topples. When Mythra switches in, she smash. And when Minoth comes in, I believe he breaks.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And then for the other team, I believe Hugo topples.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
no.
Bridget is break.
Yeah, Bridget's
I think
break.
Hugo was smash, but I'm not sure.
I think Hugo smash and then Gion's topple.
Sounds right.
Yeah, but the problem is, and also Hugo has a topple art, but the problem is right now Aegeon and Hugo are gone, so we are missing that extra topple. So
Yes,
we
it's
are
just
really
Bridget.
just stuck to Jin switch
I hope we'll be
for
able to
topple.
help.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we
but-
also can't get breaks from Bridget because she has no one to switch with.
Yeah.
By the way, as well, we do have. When we were in Gourmat, we were trying to find a young lost boy. So there is that young Gourmati chap there who is kind of like meant to be. So Mikar, who we found at the very start, very very shy, very like nervous young man. I can't remember. Honestly, it's been a while. The Gourmat child has completely left my mind. You know, he just completely just blank. His name.
Oh,
The guy with us, Milton.
Milton.
yeah.
I knew it was an M, but I was like,
So-
Molly,
So Milton-
Matt. I don't know, Milton.
Yeah, so Milton's pretty much Adam's assistant, and he's the one that like gets onto Mythra the most because he holds like the Aegis to a really high standard,
Yeah.
and she just falls so far for him.
And yeah, but also he's kind of like there to kind of like bring Mikhail out of his shell as well. And I think there's a nice little relationship between those two that develops, which is it's kind of nice.
And also for people that are familiar with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, yes, this Mikhail that's here is the one that you fight against later on in the core game.
Yeah, and there is a very specific reason why he becomes kind of evil, but not really, because he's still with Jin. Like, you can see that at the end of Torna, really.
Yeah.
So here we're picking up a pretty easy to do quest. So it's just go and gain penicillin. But we have to come back and talk to this doctor anyways later on to progress the main story. So stacking both of those quests on top of each other just makes sense. So this is the landmark he grabbed earlier. The penicillin is right down here. So you skip that ladder. If you never knew about that, you're barely taking damage from it. And then you can get 2 of the 3 that you need here. And then there's one next to a unique monster that you can kind of wedge between if you really want to pick it up.
Yeah, and increasing the level up to the top as well. You again, bonus experience exists, and you can use that to when you're camping or staying overnight to increase your level up nice and easy. And of course, it's really nice at turning off aggro, so you can just run around and all of this without worrying.
Now, if he got just in front of that boss right there, it would aggro him, even with the enemy aggro turned off.
Yeah.
That ladder back there, I've spent so much time trying to figure out a way to get down it without taking any fall damage, and it's the most frustrating thing in the world.
All right, remind me why we're here again?
I don't know, Mythra.
Collecting stuff.
Yeah.
This is a collectathon, not an RPG, I'm sorry.
It's an RPG collectathon.
Even better.
Alright, so here we go. Let's see if we can
Round
get some more smash, a smash, if possible.
Let's go, Team Laura.
Woo!
Great.
Also, here's a good showing of the attack canceling.
First smash.
Please. Laura.
Okay.
Fun.
Nope, got resisted.
Fun fact about so Adam and Zeke in Xenoblade 2. Like Zeke, it feels really similar to Adam. That's because like he tries to be like him, and I think Ogre Smash is one of his art.
Okay, there we go.
Too much damage.
So here comes the lock.
Yeah.
And then here comes the smash.
I just love how she just like does like a triple spin, like
She dunks him. That's what happens. So besides that dying, you actually don't. If you don't want to, you don't have to finish the fight to still get the smash. It's as long as you do it, it's good.
Yeah. But we also wanted the blade combo there, so went ahead and finished that up.
So here with these goggles, we can also potentially get some more smashes if Laura is kind. But you kind of have a little bit of a race condition because Bridget will get gunned down after a point. Since she can't switch, she can't heal, and since we don't want Haze to come out, she's just not going to get healed, period, besides the healing potions, which aren't going to be coming out that often.
Yeah, the only one who can get a healing potion out is Laura, and that's not a lot of potions.
there are some there though.
So here comes with the extend. You can actually, if you have the HP for it, you can actually permanently extend a lot of. Unfortunately, not there anytime. It's just too late.
Yeah, just missed the timing there.
The new battle theme sounds like it was composed by Jason Robert Brown. Has so much piano.
But it's so good.
It is.
When it first came out, and my roommate can also verify this, I listened to this song nonstop for like a week. I liked it so much.
Your poor housemate. It's a good song, but like for a week?
Yeah.
Dang.
At work, just putting it on.
That was the same for Xenoblade X Oblivia.
God, X.
Yeah, good.
I'm so good.
I'm a still Valum Knight dude myself.
Very good. Everything is very good in X anyway.
Yes, to be noted. Nice fight, by the way.
That's a good job.
It's actually a bit unfortunate because we did not get any smashes.
Yeah.
We're still too short, so I'm going to have to farm an extra fight here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there was that one moment to get one, but unfortunately it just didn't go to plan. Just that timing was slightly off, and yeah.
So besides this one, hopefully we'll be getting it. There's a boss coming on a little bit later that's also a really good spot to gain the smash.
It's also a very scary boss, but should be able to get through with the smash.
Also, the next boss coming up is one of the more difficult bosses. And we'll start the string of having very difficult bosses.
Very nice.
And
boom!
There you go.
And we
yeah, like I said earlier, so as long as you get the smash, you don't have to kill it. So he's just gonna leave it instead of taking the way too much time killing it.
Also, we had a nice view of Mythra's costume.
Yeah, so they added the tights in. Yeah, which is
You need a
pretty
couple of
sweet.
those rare pickups, which is why I haven't skip traveled back. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Typically, I would just skip travel straight back to the camp there, but between having this run from the battle and also needing an extra collection, it's just faster to walk that time.
Yeah, whilst we are just blabbing on, Vax is keeping a lot of information in his head right now, just in terms of what he has, what he needs consistently.
Yeah,
there's a lot of information going in and out.
Yeah, there's a reason why we're doing most of the talking. There's a lot of processing going on and a lot of mental math.
Where shall we head to next?
Let's think about it. Yeah, so we have so when it came to like early routing ideas, the next boss coming up is like the one that like was the trickiest to kind of get around. Like, how can we get here fast without getting absolutely annihilated?
For a while, Nazi was getting here at like level like 17 or something and trying to wing this fight, and it's hard because you have to. He has 2 phases to this boss fight coming up, mostly because you get the last party member that joins up in the middle of it, but. It was. I remember watching him stream and just trying to figure it out, and it was hard. So also we need to start farming these nests to get some. I forgot the item's name, but it's required to progress the story, unfortunately. But they're super easy to kill.
Oh my! Just missed that final art. Of course you did.
So, but unfortunately they spawn these flyers when you start attacking them.
So yeah, I mean, confirming you can always get potions from skills that drop potions, but then driver combos do confirm bigger potions. You get like you get a 25% and you get a 50% for getting the bigger ones as well. And or is it 15, 30, 60% eventually? Think it might be a bit different.
I think that second one's right.
Huh?
I think the second one you said was right.
Yeah, 15, 30, 60.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Or it's 10, 25, 50.
Yeah, they do kind
They
of
do increasingly amount of healing, and the big ones are massive tank.
and they also don't keep to one formula for everything. And like some things are a lot different than others. So
Mythra, no,
It's fine.
Yeah.
yeah. So you see the 3 gauges up there. So pretty much anytime somebody goes down, you spend a gauge to consume it. There's also another use for the gauge that we're going to be seeing here in a little bit.
Yeah, we introduced it earlier with the orbs. This is where it starts getting interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting because they make use of that gauge a little bit more. So that's called the party gauge. And as we mentioned, first of all, you can use it to revive characters when they go down. But secondly, when it's maxed out and we're going to unlock the ability right now, I remember when I played the Tooth main game, I was like, why can't I do it? But because I knew what it did, basically. And then but it had to unlock. So it's going to be unlocked about halfway through this fight, I believe, or maybe like a quarter through.
It's halfway.
Yeah. So I'll preface it. You can do what's called a chain attack, and it's only really usable when every single member of the party's here. So because we're missing one member of the party, Minoff, we haven't got it yet. And it should be noted as well that in terms of narratively, in terms of the history of All Rest, that's a lot of damage.
Love that ultimate Aurora.
That wasn't even with launch.
Come on, get it, get it. Ah, cutscene happened.
But we got the smash anyway. It was fun.
Yeah.
So they're talking about how that Laura and Jin do utilize different weapons. So I think it's around this point when actually they go, you know what? We should give that a go. Actually, you and me, Mythra.
Yeah.
So
Just a little bit earlier. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's after this fight. That
No,
starts.
it's before. It's after the bridge.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So now we have set orbs on. We're gonna get a few more, and then we're gonna activate the party gauge.
Actually, we're not because that's slow.
Yes.
And also,
you could.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You
Also,
could just-
Hugo
The original strat was doing it.
Okay.
Yes, it is quite slow, but if you're playing this game casually, it's a great way to get a lot of bonus EXP because when you overkill, if you keep going, you actually just keep increasing the EXP gain more and more.
This is
Okay,
why
I'm actually going to throw this once.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, this jargon is very hard.
yeah.
So
So
he has
just
a lot of AoE hitting moves and he hurts.
okay. So this, I have to admit, this is partly my fault. I forgot a menu.
That's
so,
okay.
That's
Yeah.
So
You will see once I do the menu, things will go much more.
we
smoothly.
get to hear the song more. I'm happy with this. This is my favorite boss theme.
I approve.
And you get to keep it in English while you're in that menu.
There is
All right.
a couple of things as well to note. So looking at that fight, we're talking about the orbs and how you can use those for chain attacks. So specific thing about orbs is that when an enemy gains an orb on them, they gain an elemental resistance to that orb. So you have to break it in order to do the maximum damage with that element again. There's another thing to this as well, is that when enemies gain orbs on their body, they have the ability to go into elemental awakened status. You'll see this by them glowing blue, and their status bar above with their HP glows blue as well. This means that they go Super Saiyan mode, basically. They just get really, really strong, and they have access to new moves, and they just deal a metric ton of damage. So in order to get rid of that, you need to clear the orbs.
Yeah.
So sometimes we're gonna go hell for leather and just go, you know what? We're gonna fight through the elemental awaken, or we need to clear it to stay alive.
My first run I did of this, I got to the final boss, and right at the end of him, Elemental Awakens. I'm like, I don't have gauge. And he just kills me off. I was like, oh, great. I get to do it
That is a
all
thing.
over again.
That is a thing, and hopefully we will not see it, or we will not see that conclusion to it.
I had
in this
that,
run.
and then the second fight, he immediately Elemental Awakened at the beginning of it. It was like, oh, great.
What's nice about this as well is that these are quality of life changes as well. They actually added into the main game to make it harder. They added Elemental Awakening to the main game.
Yeah.
Now I was quite oblivious to the fact that they added it in. So I was just doing some fights, just grinding on the main game. I was like, why am I getting wrecked by these enemies? It's like, oh, the awakening's in this too now. I'm sorry. Okay. So that menu being done. Also, he doesn't have all of his orbs up as well now. So the actual damage that we're going to be doing, because I think it gives us wind, ice, light, and water. I think it gave you in the first fight, which is lowering Jin's damage, which is lowering Aegeon's damage. Yeah, there's a lot of damage decrease. Mythra's damage. I mean,
Yeah, they expect you to pretty much go into that fight, immediately chain attack, and then do the rest of it. Woo, level 4!
But sometimes you're just greedy and you want an extra orb, and then boop, someone's dead.
So this is Steam Explosion. Kaboom! Gone, bye.
The classics main game combo.
Never works for me. It's supposed to do AoE damage, but don't worry. It's just a suggestion. Oh, no.
He has gauge, and they're probably going to
Things
clear
will be
him
fine,
out.
don't worry.
So thankfully, if a party member's down when the boss gets cleared, they still all get experience.
Your mistress's protection.
We sadly don't hear
Song's
that.
so good.
We sadly don't hear it that often in this DLC because there isn't that many actual bosses that are not super big story bosses.
Yeah, so pretty much after this, we're going to have a break for a lot of story for bosses until we get to Gargoyles again, which are, oh boy, those are fun.
Yeah,
those are definitely not a wall for actually trying to learn this game.
There are three, I guess there's three specifically dangerous bosses, Jargon being one, and Gargoyles is that whole segment because you have to fight
You have to fight 3 of them,
Yeah.
and you effectively have a time limit on them because they have a move that just wipes the party
Yeah,
because we're such a low level.
You either need to have a special level 4 to go through the encounter, or feel good to go through the move, or just get lucky, I guess. But it's an RPG, and where's luck?
Well,
what is luck?
If you time Mythra's talent art and then get lucky because it's, I believe, 8 hits for the lasers.
Right.
Because it only increases your dodge by 70% using Mythra's.
Yeah.
So there's still a chance that you can get hit by them. And I think it's 4 or 5 if you get hit by them.
Yeah,
you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that's also accounting for Hugo. The other 2 are pretty much not going to survive that many of them.
Yeah, Laura's paper. She's completely paper against
Yeah.
them. Yeah. Especially when he's charging up and she uses her talent art. And you're like, why? Why?
Why you do this to me, game?
Well, she goes like, I'm gonna die anyway. Might as well use it.
Let's just go in. Let's just go out with a bang.
So we're back on Laura. So every time they're in the new game, every time you have a moment that characters get swapped around, people leave and go out the group, you always default back to Laura, Team Laura. Well, you can change. They actually assign in this game a button just to do a quick change.
It's so
it
good.
still loses time because you actually stop moving.
It's still so much better than main game. Like, it's such a good quality of life button.
It's a brilliant thing to add in, especially for New Game Plus. I use every character. We use every character at some point.
Yeah.
And so being able to change on the fly like that, because we don't need the menu in New Game Plus really. It's very nice. But right now, it's easier to say on Laura than switching over to Adam right now.
Laura's pretty buff as well. Like, you know, the Team Laura is a really good
Ignore what's happening currently on the screen.
team. She's buff.
She's
But
buff, but
Everything's
she's
fine.
paper.
What are you talking about?
But yeah, we're gonna be switching back to Laura for a little bit. Mostly, it's nice to always guarantee the topples, but Ultimate Aurora is really good.
Yeah.
I couldn't put into words how good Ultimate Aurora really is.
Specifically because of Jin being alive. Like, again, you know, swapping the characters out increases the damage, so you can get that 250% max, and then you're doing Ultimate Aurora anyway. Yeah. You're going to be trying to proc the special bonus damage, so it's just going to be going in. He's also got higher. He's got a pretty high crit rate because he's Jin.
And then he does, if the thing you're targeting is a higher level, he does more damage on top of that as well. Just adding more into that pool so that big eruption happens.
He's DPS boy.
So Gargoyles used to be a huge trouble. We didn't have a concrete strat. We used Team Adam as the main control, so Laura died quite often. And then I forgot the name of the runner. It was a Japanese runner that came on the board. Was the first one to start kind of messing around with it. It wasn't optimal at the time. And then I think we always had the idea of doing it. And then Vax kind of came on and definitely ironed out the kinks in the whole Gargoyle fight. And he's the reason why this is marathon safe now.
Well, because you say that and then Jaguar happens.
More marathon safe. More marathon safe.
Yeah.
It was not safe at all originally because it was almost just kind of like a 50-50 shot that you had.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you know, I looked at what other people were doing and just said, okay, I'm going to tweak this thing and this other thing. But it's really a big community effort.
And even though our leaderboards are still a little scarce right now, it's because a lot of people are focusing on mostly the core game because the DLC route really took off. Unfortunately, right as this game came out. But
blame NL.
Cross-set's really good. But we've had a lot of people working on it, especially Grin right behind us. He helped a lot, finding a lot of things, iron out some work. He gave us advice. He definitely mined the game for a lot of its data, so we actually know accurate numbers for things, which has been very helpful, especially in New Game Plus.
Just gonna say that as a mod of the Discord, they talk way too much, so it's really hard to moderate it.
I feel like every day I get on, it's like you missed 50 messages. It's like, oh wow.
Yeah, I don't care anymore about whatever happens in the Xenoblade 2 channel, and Torna I still do because there isn't that much discussion, but Xenoblade 2 I give up.
Well. Okay.
So. While opening stuff is, I believe we're doing that to increase one of Haze's, unlock one of Haze's affinity charts.
The first three barrels unlock her keen eye skill, which is needed to open that fourth barrel, and we want an accessory from that fourth barrel, so it all kind of ties into itself.
Also, all the farming that we did earlier with all the wolves is about to pay off. The guy right up there wants 10 was it Voloff? I think it's pronounced
Ferris.
He wanted 10 Ferris meat. And we already have it at hand for him. Here you go, bro. We got you.
It's something with collectible quests. You try to have the collectibles ready when you take the quest, so you can hand it right away. Something that obviously vaxherd is doing right now, but it's also something that I've been working on for Xenoblade 100% and X 100%. Because
You're crazy, man.
It's fun runs.
Speaking of 100%, so about a month ago, I had the really bad idea of start looking into doing max community for this game, which is what we call 100%. And then, almost without skipping a beat, Vax just immediately messaged, "I'd be down for helping." It's like,
I mean,
we
it sounds
are-
fun.
Thankfully, it
then
shouldn't
we-
be horrible. It's not gonna be like Xeno 1 or Xeno
Nah,
X.
it's gonna be
Or,
10 hours
or the
max.
nightmare that would be Xenoblade 2, because that would be a monster in its own right.
I'm still standing by the idea that you should just do everything just minus the gacha blades. That's it. Just do everything minus gacha blades. That's 100% sorted.
Gran has a different idea over
I'd
there,
be-
but
I'd be
it's,
with-
it's crazy.
I'd be for that. I'd be for getting the gotcha blades, but not worrying about affinity charts.
No, because Cosmos. I'm 270 hours into my playthrough. I still haven't found a mate. I'm just not.
I'm still upset that the one rare blade you got last year was the one I was missing.
As in during the run.
Yeah.
What was that one?
Was it Agate?
Agate.
Agate, yeah.
As in the pink girl with the axe.
Yeah, she was the one person that was missing at the time. I ended up getting there a month later, and then I started New Game Plus. I was like, oh yeah, there's New Game Plus exclusive blades. It's like, yay, more legendary core farming.
Yeah, I literally when all the new blades came out, I got all the new stuff and all of the new gacha ones. I still haven't got Cosmos. And then you got like Aeon Frodo, who got it from her second regular core crystal in the game, and you're like,
She was third for me.
Shoutouts.
all right, with your RNG.
All right, so new area, the desert.
Oh, yeah.
A few quests to do here.
Oh yeah,
pretty
Minos'
easy.
special. One of his special little things is mining, so he can dig up buried treasure.
By the way, if you don't recognize Minos in the main game, it's actually a flesh eater blade, and you see him in the main game. Actually,
He's much older.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the
he's-
old dude in.
He's a failed blade eater. So the idea behind them making blade eaters was they're supposed to get enhanced powers for having eaten a human part, which that's how a blade eater happens. It's kind of weird. And
Flesh eater.
they're supposed to get that, but
Flesh
they're
eater.
also flesh eater. But they're also supposed to not age anymore. But the process in which that Minos was exposed to it, since it wasn't willingly on his side, he didn't get the full effect from it.
Yeah, it's like some people take to it as well. Some blades like unlock, or some people some blades unlock special powers if they do it. Some don't. So it doesn't affect everyone the same really, and yeah. Bless Minos.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're making our way back to essentially we're making our way to the.
Oh no! Come
yes,
you to
yes.
lust.
I like this idea that they could do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're making our way to the Empire's like
Main city.
Yeah, to the capital. Essentially, is what we're trying to do
And
right now. So to basically like talk to the king.
Yeah, and the small quest that we had to go back and talk to the doctor about for the main story was there's an illness that apparently spreads throughout the desert, and if you're not like cured up at the time when you go through, you can get sick. It's mostly some filler, but
Yeah,
that's why we had to do that.
there's a lot of main quest stuff that are actually filler in this, because like if it was just about fighting Malos, this would be done really quick. And the problem is it would be done so quick that you wouldn't have the time to level up if you were just charging straight, and you would just get bodied. Or like the final fight would be at level 20, which is kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
The game definitely has like paced and constructed how you get through the game in a way that does pad it out, yes, but it's not like mindlessly done or it's not like cheaply done. There is reason and there is depth to why it's happening essentially.
I do like that if you do every single quest going into every community level wall, you're actually put either just at or a little bit above the level that you need to go through that content. And I thought that was a really good planning on the dev side of things.
Yeah, overall this game this DLC is really well crafted. There is also another problem that we discussed with vaxherd. Like you remember Gort in Gourmat that we fought. There was a cutscene. I don't know when it happens. It happens in parallel to whatever is happening. We can see a cutscene where he goes through the process of blade eating, which is like the same way as flesh eaters, but the other way around.
Yeah, humans take on a blade's characteristics. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're expecting to fight him at some point during this DLC, and like we don't know when it's going to happen. And like whenever it happens in this, I'm not going to spoil it. It feels really cheap, but at the same time, there is no really good moment to fight him when you are going through everything in the story. So like it just kind of
when
works.
we get to it, I know Bowie has a good old rant ready for that. 'Cause I remember that Twitter post.
We'll have time when we get there.
We're gonna have plenty of time leading up to it.
Speaking of time,
So-
do you think you can give me a couple minutes here if you got time?
Also,
Yeah.
this
Oh
is a
yeah.
great place for it.
We've got probably 5 minutes of quests. So whatever you got.
5 minutes.
You have 5 minutes of donations.
Yeah, we're just going to.
Yeah, sorry,
I
we've
think
been
that was
blabbing
a
away.
bad idea that you just said I have 5 minutes. Because I got a beautiful disaster here that's just been waiting to happen.
Japanese.
All right.
I think
I will
thi-
I will accept it. I will accept the disaster.
I think there's someone on the couch that knows exactly what's coming. We got a $250 donation from someone in the audience named Gunarm Dine.
Who is it? Who's dead to me?
And I'm going to apologize for this right now.
No, here we go.
His speech is coming right now. Don't worry.
Here we go.
Punarm Dine here. Thanks again to the staff for this privilege of hosting Adventures of Mana. As a result, I'm full of Mythra and merriment, feeling right as rain, while hoping all of you arena state of enjoyment too. I'm going to butcher some of these names, just warning you now. It's also great to see more Xenoblade, especially this early in the marathon. We can be a great experience in watching, and even more if you go and play yourselves to cut through the fog and veil of experience. In fact, you can graduate from the School of Xenoblade. You could even call it your alma mater. One thing to ask about these games is if online reviewing for their restaurants is a thing. Don't we want them to say, people who love us on Yelp, our food is so great, and people will Wolfric right down. Right, I'm going to fry for that one. But if I had a Mikau for every facepalm and glare these puns generate, I'd be rich and could Mikau for more donations.
2 hours.
So, quite a cycle.
Perfect phase of operation.
That's all for now, as it feels like I've been sitting in a rickety chair all day. But having been in the stream room since the first run, my idling car is now dead, and I have Dromark all the way to the nearest service station.
Who said that? Come here.
We're almost done here. We're almost done here. And Dromark to the nearest service station after I zeke it out on the map. Good luck to Vaxherd. Just remember, if Torna is the name of a canal that requires a key from an old man in a nearby village, you're playing the wrong game. And he was so kind to put at the end, and high spirits, I'm sorry, but not sorry you had to read another one of mine.
Thank you. That was fantastic.
Shout out to the Alma Mater though. That was the best one.
That was
I think
good.
that was a good one.
I'll give him
All
that.
the Xenoblade X ones were just mind blowing because like Xenoblade X, as cool as it is, many people just forget about every characters as there is.
Yeah.
Just Alma Lane and then everyone else is forgotten.
I
Good
hope
job.
we'll be able to help.
Well, I hated my time going through it. It was very clever. Good job.
So yeah,
Well
By the way,
played.
the music in the capital is absolutely stunning. Just
It's so fitting.
it's just cool life.
Also, we're fixing lights.
Yeah,
Yes.
so if you
We're
notice, when
handy.
you have a look at like the different worlds, so one thing I absolutely loved, and my argument towards why I actually prefer the English voice track in this game is that world building is very, very strong in Xenoblade Chronicles
never
2,
can
specifically.
blind eye to
So you know, you go to different, to the different titans, and they have different, cultures. So if you go to Gourmat, it's full of the Welsh. I mean, obviously all of the Gourmati are Welsh. You go to More Ardain, it's all Scottish. You go to
see there's work to do.
the archipelago, and that's all full of British people, and all of the blades are all American. So it's like different places, different people, different cultures are very, very strengthened by not only the aesthetics of the place they're in, but also the sound and the just just the sounds of their aesthetics. So Torna here having this very kind of like wonderful Japanese feel. It's very interesting if you have a look at a lot of Japanese media, like sometimes when it comes to films or anime, there's an interesting propensity towards, especially if you look at things like Godzilla as an idea, is like there's a lot of media that looks around the idea of Japan being invaded by these outside forces. And again, there's something similar here with Torna, this beautiful, like authentic, traditional Japanese city is under attack from Malos, and this concept of outside forces coming in, and and this kind of struggle internally about keeping the heritage alive. And I think it's very nice that that's reflected in Torna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about like the Japanese voice acting. I don't know if they played with this accent thing, because like they
did
can
not.
very well do.
Yeah, and I will actually say that there are some lines, especially some of the short lines you hear when you're collecting stuff. Some lines which I thought were read by somebody completely different, and then playing in English, realized from the accent it was not the person I thought who was saying it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely a really neat addition, I think, on the vocal side.
All right. So like, yeah, that's something I've always wondered if like they did the same in the Japanese version, or
Yeah, no,
if it
that's
was
definitely an
really
addition
just,
by the localizers, and I agree, it's a very good one.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Definitely. So like yeah. So far we're doing a bunch of quests. Oh yeah, this one's
What's the
important.
best hat, real quick?
Which one do you prefer, guys?
Knit hat or cotton cap? Yeah. Casual cap, that's it.
Yeah.
Knit hat or casual cap?
Cap.
Cap.
That doesn't help.
Well, the second
Okay,
cap.
I heard
There's
a lot of
knit,
caps and
it's
not
knit
a lot
hat
of...
and a cap.
Yeah, I heard a lot of caps, not a lot of hats, so I think cap is what it's going to be, huh?
Little Pon, what do you think? The casual cap.
Casual cap it is.
Casual.
Now,
Look
now take
at
a
how
close
dapper
look.
he is.
Look at that casual cap, and then take a look at this screen that's coming up right here, because this is the community screen, and we've seen it. And you see the little portraits of all the characters. Now take a look at what this little yellow guy is wearing
Didn't
here.
have to, but thanks.
It's a casual hat.
It is a casual cap. Yes, and if you choose the knit hat, you will be wearing a knit hat, and all those little guys down there will also be wearing knit hats.
Because it's all the rage now. The Nopon, by the way, are notorious little guys. They are really insidious at times. It's really interesting. Like, they're really, really adorable. But like in each game, they've got something really shady going on. So like in Xenoblade 2, what's her
Banner.
Banner is just this greedy, horrible person, just trying to like make so much money and just like make people's life a living hell. In Xenoblade X, they've got like an underground gangster ring going on. Like they're really shady characters, despite how cute they are.
Yeah, like Nopons are in all games displayed as mainly merchant people, and as usual there is cool merchants, and then there is a shady merchants and black market and stuff.
Yeah, like
They're also-
the whole mafia thing in X is
Yeah.
just too good. It's just
They
like-
also are heavily portrayed as just being utterly cowards.
yeah.
Except for Tora. Tora overcomes it.
Much appreciated.
Well, there's also Hero Pon Ricky as well.
Yeah.
To a
Well, no,
degree.
Ricky's coward.
Yeah, he's super
Ricky's
cowardly.
He still goes out though and fights.
Yeah, because he has his friends.
For his family though. He's
fights
doing,
for
he's doing it to protect his family.
No, he's doing it because it's his job for the tribe.
Yeah, he has his debts, and if it
Because
doesn't,
he messed up so much, they're like, you're doing this, expecting it to be like a suicide mission, and sets up his family for life.
it's okay. He's still managed. He's
But
a legendary
Ricky's really
hero.
good, so...
He's a legendary hero. Good job, Ricky.
I do like there's one neat little thing. So in core Xenoblade Chronicles 2, when the challenge mode is, you also get both
I'm glad to
Xenoblade
be
X.
service.
You get Elma from Xenoblade X, and you get Shulk and Fiora from Xenoblade 1. And when Elma comes over, she actually, when she learns that Tora is named Tora, she actually gets extremely confused because there's another Tora in her universe that's completely different from him.
Like the
In every
super
way
coward.
possible.
By the way, the load-ins, by the way, are great sometimes. They still stick. To keep loading speedy, they kind of have like certain environments loading a little bit slower. And it looks great when you have like a flat tent.
Good enough for you?
Yeah, it does. They actually introduced that in Xenoblade X. In Xenoblade X, they had that as well.
Yeah, it was the downloadable, the downloadable packs when the game
Yeah,
first
well,
came out.
if you had it on Just Software, it was like that as well. And pretty neat.
Yeah. So yeah, right now we need to level up to our next community level. There's going to be a lot of build up here. So we get to Torna's capital, then we have to do our first kind of like community section, then we get our first fight, then we have to do another whole section to get ready for the finale, basically.
So that treasure chest we dug up earlier was part of her quest, so wrapping that up real quick. And then we're going to go around and find some lost cows right now.
Lost cows.
Yeah. We ranchers now, boy.
Not cows, it's Arden. Learn your names.
They're cows.
Well, we actually don't go after them yet because there's a little bit of stuff happening in the capital, and we need to
First
deal with that.
we have level 2, and level 2 is what triggers a community level 2 is what triggers following main quests.
So you're going to get the joy of hopefully Gargoyle fights go well.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say it now, but the fight
With
strat
support beams,
is
right?
super
With
wacky.
support beams in the air, right?
The fight strat is super wacky. Like it works, sure, but it just looks so. I don't know. It just looks weird.
So
It is weird.
using the rest of the EXP that we've gotten so far to get up to 34 and 35, which is so 40 is where a lot of the bosses are going to be sitting at, 40 and below.
High 30s or 40.
Yeah, so this is where we are at is the lowest we've been able to put it so far to keep it safe.
Yeah.
I believe Naz came in lower, but it literally is you have to somehow get the damage in before those lasers go off, or you're just dead. There's nothing you can do about it. And it was so hard, but it could work. But it was like it was maybe a 25% chance.
It's not consistent stuff.
But since we spaced out the rest of the EXP more, did a little bit extra, have this additional 3 additional levels make a huge difference in this game.
So Malos has basically like sent in his gargoyles to raid the capital, and we have to basically fight back his forces as quickly as possible. This
But
is tricky.
first,
yeah.
So every blade, every age just has an artifice,
Artifice, yeah.
that they can summon. So Mythra's is what you may have seen from the previous game of Orpheus, which hasn't shown up yet. And then Malos is gargoyles. He just has a horde of these replicating robots that he can summon.
They're strong.
Must have improved.
Really strong.
Okay.
So going through, getting the one big menu done. This is very important. We get some. So the talent arts we pick are some of them are stat increases. I believe, if I remember them right, we do start picking up the ones that list have abilities right off the bat instead of having to wait on cooldowns. Correct?
Yeah.
So there's a talent art for each level. I mean, a skill point for each level for all the drivers that let them. When you start combat, you will start with your abilities without a cooldown. So normally you have to build it up, but it always starts with usually X, then to the Y, then to the B position.
Also noticing we have been grabbing some big chip increases here. So we had, I think, the damage on Jin almost doubled.
Roughly
He
doubles, yeah.
went from 300 to 640. So
Pretty much everyone doubled. Yeah, we haven't had any fights ever since Jagran. So
Yeah.
it was. Now that there is fights, we are actually upgrading really hard.
Yep.
We've been getting some of these from like quest rewards and from, heading through and doing picking some things up as we go, opening chests, that kind of stuff. So just helps to bolster the attack as we go forward.
Half the battle.
Half the battle.
And just to check, Mythra is still core on.
Yes, English is way ahead
And
right
English
now,
is way
and
ahead, okay.
Mythra still way ahead also
So-
with her ultimate.
All right.
So he's equipping outdoor attacks. So just being outside now is going to give a damage boost. So here's the first gargoyle. So like I said, we're going for ultimate auroras. We would like to also be in the toppled state when it happens.
And also, we want Laura to survive, so we're
Yes.
just going to push her out of the way so that she isn't in front of the fight.
So Gargoyle does just constant AoEs that come in front of him. So like he said, we want to move her away. We also don't want this to happen of him turning.
Yeah. So ultimate aurora, if you haven't noticed, I believe is thunder, fire, and then ice. So it's pretty. You need to make sure here that Laura is ready to change back to Jin to finish off. Because again, the AI will be aware of what you're trying to go for and will try and connect into the best one. So we're going to use Flame Bolt in a little bit, and then Laura will know to go back into Jin because that's the follow-up to finish it.
Okay.
Or switch the hay.
Or switch to Haze because yeah,
And Leaning's enraged.
She was on Jin for a moment, but then because of the healing needed, she swapped over to Haze.
yeah. Well,
like-
it's, we'll deal with it.
Hugo not wanting to take
So-
the aggro does not help.
We'll just take heat. It's good enough.
Beam Blaster.
So this is Elemental Awakening. So now he's a lot harder to kill, and he hurts. But thankfully we got a little bit of a knockback going down.
It's important right now to
Here it
remember.
comes.
Oh, here it comes. So
Level 4.
you have to do this to survive. And here's the laser beams. If you do not do this, everybody dies instantly.
Yeah, level 4 in this game, or like any cutscenes where you do late
Tail
combos,
wipe.
they allow you to not take damage, which is a very good panic button, really. The problem is you have to build that panic button back, and it can take a while.
Oh man.
It's still salvageable. He's still.
Yeah, we may actually be in
No.
trouble here.
No,
so.
like no, that's
Yeah, I got it.
not happening.
So to note as well, when it shows the element in their status bar, that's not the element that they currently are. That's the element that is that they're weak against.
Shoutouts to Aegean for dodging everything.
Geon's a beast, man. Yeah, so when a Geon goes gold, he has like a few seconds of guaranteed evasion. So like timing when you go gold sometimes is actually really, really helpful as well.
And he also his talent art is also just to dodge everything he's gonna take.
So as in
So good.
every Xenoblade game, when you die and have no bar, immediate game over, you start up again.
Yeah, that
So-
was just a bit of unfortunate luck there. There was something with his attack hitbox. He had that tail blade swipe you may have seen a couple of times. He does that when a character is behind him. I thought I was onto his side, but apparently the game thought I was behind him, and so I got hit by that a couple of times. That was just a bit of bad luck. We can recover from it. Well, I mean, we'll just do it again, but yeah.
Level 1, lightning.
Sword master.
Going into 2, getting that ready.
Little Marth needs to swap back out for Bridget. And then hopefully that'll be time for Jin to come in as well.
If you could get a break, there you go. Topple, that should be good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This would have been.
This
the
would have been
ideal.
perfect if, if Bridget had been
now
out.
he does it.
But we got a break,
We got a break, yeah, we can do this.
so we can still do this. Or not.
Oh, Laura. Dark Red Barrage as well. Have to pull this because it's the safest thing to do. Get it down there.
So we did say there were 3 of them, right?
Yes,
So that was just the
there's
first
2
one.
more.
So I
There's
feel
2
bad
more-
that you're applauding for that because it should go much, much better.
So there's 2 more one-on-ones. Then we're gonna fight Malos. Then we're gonna fight 2 of them at once.
And just to say it, but Malos is not easy either.
Yeah, yeah. It was kind of nice that when with the way the game's paced to have this massive crescendo suddenly, just to have this like all-out battle that goes on, like a long extended campaign with a big fight against Malos, and then it's just a nice way to kind of like break up the pacing of all the side questing. There's a lightning out first of all. Also, there's a lot less space to move around in here. The first one's on like a nice square. Now we're into this corridor. Makes it a little bit harder to like move Laura out the way to space yourself accurately. Okay, here we go. Oh, is that?
Okay,
Here we
we're
go.
good. We don't.
Let's just pop it straight away.
Here comes the big boy damage.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, we did not get a break, and so this will only be just a little bit.
Yeah, so break damage, break increases damage dealt as well as everything else. So everything that feeds into and then pops out from the end is just massively like increased. I think like last case scenario, if there's nothing else you can do. As you can see, he's holding on to the level 4 for this. At any point, and if he needs to, he can always just, if he really, really wanted to, pop chain attack. You don't need it.
Yeah. If I feel like wasting 2 minutes, I could do that.
Yeah.
That's what the whole strap was for a little bit. Yeah, that's so slow.
But then you have things like that, which
Yeah. Yeah,
he
Dark.
is almost down though. So let's
Yeah.
go Hugo.
Yeah, I wish Hugo had just decided to kill him instead of wasting a bar on me, because it's
Level 1.
it's an extra bar that I now have to get back. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem, but yeah.
I just want to mention it, but the fact that pushing someone around like that's really the only place where you're ever going to see that kind of threat. That's absolutely mind-blowing that this actually works, and it's actually a thing.
So thankfully we get a lot more open arena this time around. Here's some more pushing.
Yeah,
Face over there, so Laura just doesn't die, ideally.
pretty much.
Alright, break was resisted, sadly.
Well, we've still got some time as we build up to level 2 with the fire. We've got the lightning down first of all.
Laura, move around.
You can see we're almost close to max affinity plus as well. So there's Mythra's. And Laura getting around the back, that's going to be a little bit scary potentially if he goes for his tail whip.
Well, she's still at full HP, so she should be fine as long as she doesn't use her talent. Or just happen.
So again, Laura did not hit her break, and so we did not get the really big damage that you can see there, but it's still going to be enough to get it down to a half HP, which is where we can start getting Dark Ray Barrage.
Here we go, Elemental Awakening once again.
Which usually leads straight to dual blasters.
So you saw double blasters before and what it can do, so I'm going to go ahead and use my tier 4 here.
Thankfully, he was also broken when you did it, so level 4 did a lot more damage than it has been doing.
Yeah. And
Nice.
so, yeah.
Alright, so right after this, no break, we're going into Malos fight.
And as Legrand so well put it, he's not a pushover. He's quite difficult.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
He does blowbacks. He can give himself super armor. He can drain affinity on your whole team. Like he's rough.
He has AoE as well. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah.
You see I'm not using the talent art here. There's a good reason for that.
He also has the habit of just looking at you and deciding you're dead now.
Yeah, just like main game. Also, this team right there, you probably are going to recognize it. It's the big alien Pope theme, but for Malos. And it's one of the best ever.
So it's not uncommon for Malos to go into Elemental Awakening here. So every time they get an orb on them, the next orb you get has an additional chance of activating Elemental Awakening. So pretty much you're guaranteed at some point it's going to activate. And here we go, chain attack.
We
Is
actually
everybody
have jail coming, so things might get a little sketchy, but we'll see.
So, with how chain attack works is you want to attack the orbs with the opposite element. So fire wants to attack water, water attacks fire, so on and so forth down. And you want to break them. It takes 2 hits if you attack with weaknesses, it takes 3 if you attack with non.
Yeah, so it should be noted as well that we have access to 2 fire elementals. So when it comes to this, opening up the first turn with both Bridget and Laura breaks the first one, then you can weaken the other ones as you go, and then slowly pepper the other ones and take them down in subsequent things. Now, every single time you break one, you get a bonus 200% to the damage you deal on top of everything else. And then if you do finish the gauge on the top left, which requires multiple orb breaking to happen in a few turns, you go into this massive finishing move.
Yeah, it's called full burst, and if you have still orbs up, it's going to boost the damage even more. And you're going to go in level 4 for everyone.
Yeah.
Basically.
So here we're going to have it here. With one final break here on the final one, we're going to be able to get our full burst. And I think it's weakened a little bit here, so it's going to go down. I mean, we're doing it with Jin and Laura, which is very important because they're the strongest.
And as you notice there, the Elemental Awakening is now gone, so it's full damage
look at
as well.
his HP.
Yeah, it's just completely melting down.
and done. So any additional damage from this point on is bonus EXP.
Look at the damage numbers. It's nuts.
Because they're the strongest, them doing it. I mean, that was a great fight, so well done them.
Yeah.
Really, really, really well done. But yeah, because when full burst happens, everyone does their level 3, and then the person who you're in control of does their level 4 to finish it up. So because we do it with them, they're just like, and he dies.
That's pretty cool. You don't really see it that often in the main game because you can't build that many orbs, but in this game it's so easy to build orbs that you're pretty much always going to see one.
So remember how we were fighting one of them at a time? Now we get to fight two of them. But there's a big difference. They don't have their kill all move.
They
Also,
do,
their
but they
HP
don't. They don't. All. They're
Yeah.
much less likely to use it.
And their HP and their armor has also been reduced some.
And we're now controlling Laura, so
Yes, that too.
we don't have to worry about her just running into, because we can control her.
That was...
Yeah.
I've never seen that gargoyle move that way before.
I have not, never seen it before.
But here we go.
Also, I have no idea where Adam's specials are.
Gold smash.
All right.
Yeah, again, so just switching back between Jin and Laura just consistently increases the damage so much. The launch.
Yeah, and then go for a level 4 while they're in the launch state because it does a lot more damage.
Yeah,
Even in Elemental Awakening.
He's dead.
Yeah, absolutely. GG.
Yeah, not yet. I didn't think
Oh yeah,
so.
because it wasn't
It was
ultimate
right.
Laura.
Yeah.
It wasn't a finish and guaranteed like.
Yeah, but it was still
combat.
enough. It was still plenty.
Yeah, it was still great damage.
You know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and
Oh,
drop a
that's
heal.
unfortunate. The first orb did it.
Of course it did.
So you can switch blades whenever they are like you can switch from Ace to Jin. It's a different cooldown.
Yeah, even off as you saw there. So Laura Hayes was out, but swaps to Jin on the back row and brings him straight in.
Yeah. Something we didn't mention, but it should be obvious. Every time you switch, you get all your arts back. So
Okay, I feel bad
so
for doing this, but
He had
things
to
get a
do it
little
because
ugly.
of-
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
to do it.
beam
So
AoE.
now you can, when you go into a chain attack like this, you can just end up letting it die off.
This
It's
is actually
not-
really good.
Yeah, you don't really want to normally, and this is actually, yeah. So, for speed run sakes, we don't want to go through it. There's not a point with that much little HP left. I mean, it's just gonna waste time. And the bonus, the EXP you get out of the bonus wouldn't have been worth it at all. But we're done with all the boss rushes for now.
For now.
We're gonna calm down for a little bit and actually get back to side questing.
Yeah, there's like a nice little bit here where you know the team is kind of like applauded for their defense.
And
of the
you will
city.
see that by the wonderful smile we are given here in a moment.
So, if you ever think about wanting to run this category, get to this point and do that area. He made it look a lot easier than it actually is, and
That
I mean,
smirk.
yeah.
Smirk.
Okay, so again, we need to do another community rush now. So there's a few things we can do first, but we will eventually hit the wall where it's like, right, now we're going to go for the final push.
Yep.
So there's a few little like throwbacks to again the main game and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, we're gonna go see Gramps
Yeah.
before he's called Gramps.
Nuncle now.
Oh, yeah, Nuncle. Forgot about that.
So like we said, to reach Malos, you need to get to level 2 community. Now we need to get to level 4. So that's quite a lot, considering that there is only 5 levels.
Yeah.
We're going to do, like you said, half of the quests available.
Roughly half.
Yeah.
So when we're going to do max community, we're going to start doing that here actually, or like that's the plan.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
especially with barrels. Barrels alone are gonna be a very
Barrels are
unique
amazing.
route.
What are you talking about?
It's going
It's
to
just be
remind
fun.
me. It's going to remind me lobster routing in
You bring the
Xenoblade X.
mapping tool with you. There we go. We got this.
We've got the team.
Yeah, so a while back there was a mapping tool that Nazi was using to actually highlight like where to go when you're going around the maps. We should probably go back and keep that up at some point, make it a lot easier for people to get into this run.
I don't know if it was Gren or Nazi that made it. Yeah, Gren made it.
Well, you may have, did you make the Torna one too? Okay, sorry about that then. Give credit where credit's due.
Well, Nazi probably used it, but
Nazi sent it to me, so
It feels good.
that's probably where I got that from.
feels good.
So do you think we'd be able to catch up on a few donations here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of
This is
time.
like a
Go for
40-minute
it.
section.
This
Yeah.
is the part that you start interrupting us.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we got lots of donations we can catch up on. Let's go start with a handful here. We had a response to Gunarm Dying.
Oh boy.
Rob Draven gave $25. Said after that long haze of puns, I think the couch might need a nice slow gin.
Ideally.
I've brought this upon myself by reacting the way I did.
Hey, puns are always welcome. Please.
Yeah,
Yes.
embrace them.
eye rolls only feed them
I
further.
know.
You need to remember this.
I understand puns. I am friends with Bowie.
We had a $10 donation from Aeon Frodo.
Oh, hi.
Oh hey.
She's a great member of the Xenoblade community.
Yeah.
She's done a lot.
Really
I
awesome.
see there's
Xenoblade 1 and
was-
Xenoblade 2, yeah.
Oh, no, just let
Oh,
you
that was it?
do
Okay,
your
I
thing.
didn't
No,
know
I was going
shit
to keep
what to
going.
say.
I was just letting you, praise. Okay. Don't forget me, starts out with. Wish I could be there at RPG Limit Break with you guys to enjoy the run live, but I am here in class glancing over the stream occasionally. Also, question for Vax and the couch community. Which do you rate as the worst? Rex's accuracy in the main game?
Rexterity.
Rexterity.
Or Laura's AI consistently dying to the bosses?
Rexterity.
Rexterity.
No. Not even a
Dying is one thing, not doing damage is a whole nother
Yeah.
ballpark.
And like she's doing it to do more damage in the end, so like it's cool. It's cool.
You'd think, given the size of his blade and the size of the enemies, that he'd land something. You'd think.
I mean, one of them is literally smashing the ground for an AoE, instantly missed. Like, how?
Yeah.
It's a big, heavy blade. It's kind of hard to be accurate with it. Come on, you gotta give him some. Okay. Well, anyways, someone that was behind you that ran off, Kirby Master, gave a $50 donation that said, "Think you can take me?" I mean, donate more for English. This run's been awesome to watch. It must have been the result of years of training.
There you go. Good stuff.
We had a $15 donation from Tiny Tim 78221 that said, "Hi all, loving attending RPG Limit Break for the first time. Loving the Xenoblade 2 run. Good luck, Vaxherd.
Thank you.
Even though you're 2/3 into the run, good luck at the
No, there is still luck
it's
needed.
still very
There is,
important.
yes.
good luck in the grinding. We're all here for you.
There's no grinding.
Well, I mean the
Yeah,
veg questing.
it's-
How about that?
It's not the grinding. No, you will see when the luck is needed. It will definitely be needed.
Awesome. Let's see. We got a $50 anonymous donation that says, "Hey guys, I think it's amazing what you're doing to help mental illness." Uh-oh, here we go. Got a question for you. Pyro or Mythra?
Yes.
This man is smart. I already know your answer.
Or is always a good answer for that.
Mythra.
Like Mythra is a better like character like mechanically, but Pyra is narratively a little stronger for Rex's particular.
I'm sorry, I like Tsunderes.
I'm gonna say Numa. I get
To
both.
be fair,
I
that's a
get
good
best.
shout.
I get
That's a
best of
good
both
shout.
worlds.
You can't
That's
bring
a
in a
good shout.
third option. That's not fair.
well,
But
it
it is
Technically.
them. It's them together.
yeah, it is the true for
That
the
wasn't the
Aegis.
third option. Okay, that's taking the easy way out.
I will allow.
Yes.
I will allow it, Gedrith.
Same.
Okay, how about a $10 donation from Marky Chin that says, "According to my Switch, I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for 355 hours or more.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club.
From January to April earlier this year."
That's impressive.
That's a
Yeah.
special club for you.
That was the
that?
pause and let you, respond and then finish it. The Torna expansion was definitely one of my favorite parts of the experience, so it's great to see it at this fantastic event. Best of luck for the run, and Mr. Announcer Man, please tell Bowie that he is a sweet boy. Or should I do, "You are a sweet boy, Bowie"?
Oh, by the way, we have an interesting little thing coming up here, so I can break in for just a moment. So there is a. This is the cow fetching quest that we mentioned a moment ago. There's some Turkans that want to take this one, so we're supposed to fight them off, but we don't want to do that. We like to keep the Turkans alive, save the animals, so we're just going to run away, and then run right back, and hopefully they will not be there when we get to the
Yeah,
cow.
This is something that also exists in Xenoblade 1, so I'm really glad that we can see it on on the very last game.
Except we can't despawn them and get experience out of it.
Yeah, well, it's actually how it works when you want to press switches. Sometimes there is a fight before it, and you just start the fight, get out, and then before the guy, just like that.
It's really
Exactly.
weird because the enemies try to go back to their position, but what they'll do is they'll kind of like phase out and respawn.
Yeah,
so you have a moment to get through it. Which
Yeah,
is
they
really
get
odd.
reset effectively. Yeah.
But, like,
also,
but the thing is, they do phase out. They don't just walk back to their position. They disappear, and then they come back again. And it's when they disappear that you can do it, which is really odd.
Also, real quick, because I think this would be a nice thing to bring up. Shouts to two people that are currently missing. The first one being Maelstrom. He runs Xenoblade 1 2 years ago. Actually, the first time me and Bowie couched together, I got to meet him, which started this Xenoblade trend of me and you always be on the couch. And also, shouts to After 5. He was here last year as well. So those are the two missing other community members from our group that usually show up to these.
Awesome. Let's continue the train
Absolutely,
here.
Go for
Yes.
it. Go for it.
While the cows are being saved right now. We got a $30 donation from Ginor that just say, did someone say orb?
Orb.
Thank you. Someone had to say it. Azure Samuel gave a $10 donation that says, thank you for putting on this event. I always try donating to these when possible. Also, a big thanks to you, Bowie. Your speedrun last year made me want to finish Xenoblade Chronicles too. You gave me the courage to finish.
Thank you very much. It's very kind of you.
Showed me how to improve my playstyle and combat, and I was even able to use some speedrunning tech to get past some spots.
Nice.
Nice. Good to hear. Cheers, man.
You're teaching everyone. You're a good teacher. How about a $25 donation from Shiva Caller? Says, donating during the run of the last game I beat. Can't wait to see this game get broken. I don't know, is this game going to get broken?
Kind of.
You'll see later. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
It's not that
no
big.
spoilers allowed, huh?
It's not that big.
Another problem?
Vax. First time, yeah?
We'll see.
Just like he got it first time in practice.
Three times in a row as well.
That's a good joke, Bowie.
It might be difficult for you.
That sounds ominous.
He's a beast.
Third try every time, man.
Yep.
And
I'll go
that
for
is-
second.
That is literally actually truthful too.
Yeah,
It's
right.
third try every time. Of the 3 times I've done it. I can't do it. I'm not allowed to play the game anymore because of it. Like,
That's fair.
Still sounds like a good average.
yeah. It's good American average.
Oh.
We're
Okay,
gonna-
Epic Kai gave $5. That says, even though I am sick right now, I'm not missing my chance to donate. I've been donating a little here and there every year, and I encourage you all to do the same. Mental illness is a serious thing that needs to be addressed, and I would like you all of you beautiful people to join this cause. Also, hail Demon Choco Board.
Just very, very quickly, this side quest is there's this guy who's been like conspiring against more Ardanes. So we're going in just to kind of like stop him and then to have a little chat with him to find out what's going on really here. Because we don't really want to kill people. We want to find out what's going on.
It's aggressive negotiation.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And whenever Adam finds out that like this guy is a traitor, he actually gives him a second chance.
Yeah.
Like showing how cool that Adam is. Again.
Yeah.
Game audio.
But yeah. If we have some more donations over,
Oh, we got a few more. We're almost caught up here. It's been a busy afternoon for this game so far. Let's see. We had a $5 donation from Salithorn. Said this might be the best game I ever played.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. I've made it this far. It's fine.
The way the DLC slowly feeds you the information that was already foreshadowed in the base game, all the while knowing what's going to happen at the end of this, was truly a unique experience. Thank you for showing it off.
Yeah, I personally enjoyed Xenoblade 2 Torna way more than Xenoblade 2. Like,
The combat style definitely helped a lot in this game.
the combat, the characters, the stories, the music. Like, I personally don't feel like Xenoblade 2 is the weakest in Xenoblade. That's my opinion. But like Torna is pretty much up there with the two other Xenoblade 1 and X.
I would say personally that I actually enjoyed 2 more because of Torna. And not because Torna was bad. I mean, like Torna was brilliant, but like it made me appreciate everything that the first game did more. And I think I really enjoyed this because I played the first game. I don't think they're separate. They're both together. And I think that together they become the whole package rather than it being separate
That's
to
too
the main
loud.
game. So that's kind of what I really kind of see about it. It's like they complement each other, and like elements of this game, because I know that the combat's very, very different, but I think elements of this combat wouldn't work in the longer scope of the game because everything's a little bit too like fast paced. I think like the longer nature of the game and like the slower paced nature
Wait
of
until some combat happens.
at least the actual concept of the combat works very, very nicely in main game, and I think I'm glad they changed it because they should have changed it because it is a faster and slower game, for a shorter game, so it has to be faster paced. So it was very, very punchy because of it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I'd say.
I can get behind that.
I will say, after playing through this one, I've been slowly kind of going through on the Bringers of Chaos difficulty playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I have appreciated that, like going through it again, I've appreciated it a lot more, having the extra like context.
I would be interested in hearing, like, because like I played the obviously main game first, and you play this knowing what happens, and you know so much stuff, and you find out more information. I'd be very interested to see how people feel about the game playing this first and then going on to main game. Because it's a very interesting.
I would be devastated. If I wiped my knowledge, played this game first, then went into XC2, I would be devastated.
To fight Jin?
No, just the end result of this one would destroy me.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the hard things for me going through this game is, so if you play through 2, you know the ultimate fate for everybody on the team.
See, this is a parallel I find with Crisis Core as well, because like you have the knowledge, so you see how it unfolds, and then there's like a part of you that gets attached to everything beforehand. Knowing the fate is so much more worse.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I can't fall for the characters. No, I can't like them. No. And
like,
it's just like
my roommate just heard me all the time. I would sit there just like, I'm getting attached. I can't. I'm getting attached.
I've also found that after playing this, going back and playing the base game again, I just get a really different feel for all of the characters. Like, Jin in particular. Just, I mean, when you first play, if you play base game first, he is just an antagonist. But you play again, I mean, at the end, you get a glimpse of his past. But after playing this, every one of Jin's lines has like a completely different connotation.
It solidifies it.
And that final send-off as well from Azerda when he says like, "What a splendid soul you were."
Yes.
It's just kind of like that hits so much harder because of that, because he is an actually brilliant character.
Like, this whole thing about like knowing what's going to happen, it's really just a classic tragedy, Greek tragedy, where you already know how this is going to end up. Just like Romeo and Juliet, you already know at the start of the act that they're going to die, and you're going to get attached, and you want them to survive and thrive, but it's not going to work, and you know it.
We have just had, ladies and gentlemen, LGG compare Xenoblade to Shakespeare.
Hey, it's a tragedy. It works.
And by the way, that jump was sick. We should just talk about that.
Yeah.
That was sick. Who discovered that jump? Was that you, Vax?
No, it was not. I saw Nazi do it. I don't know where he might have gotten it from.
I heard Gren say no because I think I was going to turn around and he was going to be like, it was me.
Honestly, it's a safe bet. Like, if you look at Grant and it's like, did you find it?
It was one of those three. It's either Nazi, Gren, or again, I mean, NL did a lot of battle routing as well. It's like one of those things.
Well, I would like to say that we're catching up on donations, but we're not because they just keep coming.
Oh,
nice.
Well, by all means, yes.
We've still got loads to do. So.
Yeah.
What a drag! Yeah, I heard over here. Good job. I got a $5 donation from Svinder that says, "Thanks for everything you are doing. Let's bring Malos down. Ready or Gourmati?"
Best girls, by the way.
Morag though.
We had a $110 donation from Gaming Kev that says,
best girls.
"Donating because why not? I love games and enjoy your streams. Hey, it's only money. Life's more important. Enjoy the stream, all." We got a $10 donation from Tiff that says, "Thanks for running the event again this year. Good luck to everyone running."
Thank you.
I was about to say, out of all the people here, I'm the one that can't say anything. You are all runners, I'm not. I'm just here to help.
And you do a good job at it.
Well, we had a $50 donation from Dark Enigma that says, "Hello everyone at RPG LB. I am super excited and definitely have to donate during the prequel to my favorite game of the last years. Also super happy that Odin Sphere is going to happen later tonight. More people should play that awesome and awesome and artful games from Vanillaware. Good luck to all the runners and more donations over the week. Cheers!
I agree. And if you've never seen Odin Sphere before, I do highly recommend it, especially if it's a Grindelin run. It's a very good opening to more of that game.
While vaxherd was practicing this morning, they were actually racing the game, practicing it, and I was taking a glimpse at it, and it was really, really, really cool. I already saw the game a little bit, but like I saw the whole game while we were doing Torna, and it's really good, really cool. Really recommend.
Well, unfortunately, not everyone has finished Torna. We got a $2 donation from Gabs. Says, sup guys from the other side of the world. I still need to finish Torna, but shh, don't tell anyone that. I've been meaning to. Count this as my IOU for Octopath later on, because let's be honest, everyone knows me by Octogabs these days, and I don't have that much money right now. Love you guys. Shout out to Bowie here, $15 from Leary.
Oh,
That says,
no,
hey,
here we
hey,
go.
Bowie.
Hey, Larry.
Chibi Mutt says hi.
Oh, I'm sure Chibi Helmet does.
We had a $50 anonymous donation. First time donating, second time watching. Enjoyed the adventures of Mana Run. Know I'll be streaming at work most of the week. Good luck to the runners. And we're almost caught up here. This one I might mess up. I apologize ahead of time. We got a $10 donation from Aidwalath. It's a hello from France. Another great event to watch and to support. I'm sorry if I messed that up.
Yeah, no, like
French, yes.
no, like I know this person. I know it.
Okay. I'm sorry I messed it up if I did. Keep up doing awesome events like this, giving visibility to RPG speedruns and the association.
I love you're in your own little bubble, and then it's like, oh right.
Like I was hearing the name, and I was like, is it that person that I know? And then French. Oh yeah, okay, that's the one.
And yeah, so we actually caught up on donations, and I guess I should say, why are we here? Well, obviously, we're here to support NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, because we are RPG Limit Break 2019, coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah. And we have done this for many years now. This is, what, the 5th year, I believe? And this has been a successful event, and we always appreciate the support from everyone, the runners, the organizers, the volunteers, and all of the people that come and hang out in the audience.
As a quick kind of catch up of what we're doing here, still more side quests. We're trying to clear rubble and fix the capital after after it was bodied by the onslaught from Malos and his gargoyles. So just trying to try and fix the problems that everyone's going through, and again really hammering home this kind of very helpful and very connected nature that Adam has to his people. Slowly you can see it getting bigger and bigger. But yeah, I think it's very, very nice when we have these kind of smaller, more menial tasks, just fixing the roads and one poor girl's really ill and needs to win.
This one is just helping the guy trying to win over the person he loves.
Yeah.
And it goes wonderfully.
Oh yeah.
It goes so well.
Oh, does it ever?
But the one that gets me the most is there'll be one a little bit later on that's just you're helping out shipwright build a ship to help get people off of Torna if the worst case scenario happens.
I mean, everything's going to be fine. You know that, right?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Yeah. This is going to be a happy ending contrary to what all we've said so far.
Yeah, or what you said back in Torrigoth as well. It's fine.
It's all fine.
Nah.
Spoilers, it's not.
Why you got to play my heart like that?
Gabs hasn't finished the game.
My personal favorite quest is the three Nopons and the old lady. We already did that one. It's the three Nopons are actually making a mess out of town, and we're clearing it. And this old lady is like,
Aren't these this little family of Nopon here as well? They're kind of they're trying to find some kind of reason for doing things, and we're go to defend the city or something. They make them a little vigilante force to look after things, which is really sweet.
Yeah, those three musketeers are really cute. I love them. Plus, they are Nobon, so they can go wrong. You cannot level up. You cannot level up Nobons, right? It's hard to say. I'm sorry.
A nice change of pace. He sounds like Matt Berry. If anyone knows who Matt Berry is, by the way, but like the guy who voices Adam has just got this wonderful Matt Berry-esque nature to his performance, and it's genius, absolutely genius. Love it.
Are we saying it's genius? Sorry.
You
It
know
was
what would
too
be a
easy.
good change of pace? I mean, we still got a long ways to go, but we should hear some Japanese. We haven't heard that in a long time.
Says who?
I mean, right now, English does have about a $130 lead, but I know people can change that. I mean, I just said we're out of donations to read here. So, you know, give me a job, help me out here, and give us some Japanese.
But if you don't like the rudder, for some reason, you can always bid to remove the current Og that's on Mythra and make it a little bit harder because he loses that crit rate.
But why would you dislike? Why do you dislike vaxherd?
Nobody
How
should.
could you?
Nobody should.
Nah, he's cool.
That
I'm
was
just saying, if you want to make it harder
the
on him,
Okay, so we've saved Kame there. Kame from big old Griffox there. So he goes down. What number are we on now? I didn't see last time. At 32.
This should be 32, yes. So this will give us community level 3.
Ooh. So one more level.
One more whole
So
level
yeah,
to
we
go.
are halfway there.
woo, we got this. So another thing to add in, so when you hit certain community levels, depending on the quest you do, certain NPCs actually immediately get unlocked to be recruited into the community. So we'll pick up a few of those along the way as well.
We already did. Well,
Yeah,
there
we
was
did.
the
We've done a
train of
couple. You'll
donations.
see a couple more.
Yeah.
There
So
it is.
pretty much, they're
Have you-
all and they're all in really good locations actually too. Like there's always a quest, usually generally around them.
Or just landmark.
What I like about this is kind of like where the game because Xenoblade obviously it is a single player MMO kind of experience. So this is kind of reminiscent of getting to your new area and just getting a whole new hub of quests. I'm playing through Heaven's Ward right now, and it's just like in FF14, and you just get to a new area and you could do one story quest that just. Exclamation marks everywhere, and you're like, well, where do I start?
Yep.
That's really what I loved about Xenoblade 1 is that there were, I don't know, 496 quests.
There's a lot.
That's how many you do in the 100%, because that's how many you can do in one playthrough, and that's ginormous.
Yeah.
How many quests you go through for X?
120. Not that many, but the quests are are
count-
bigger.
But also count the Infinity missions and.
Oh yeah, no, not the Affinity mission. That's 40 more. And
And
I'm
then
not.
we got a nice chunk of people here though, so there's a big gain there. So again, it's 48 individual people rather than 48 like side quests done. So some side quests offer more people. So again, this is part of the routing process. Where are we going to get the most amount of community members for like the minimal amount of time, effort put in? And
It honestly made routing this game really fun and enjoyable. 'Cause
Yeah.
figuring out, it's like, well, I can do this one, it will yield 3, but it takes extra steps compared to doing like these spaced out, these 2 spaced out ones that would yield 3. And it's like, and so far, every time we've looked at other categories, they've all come out completely different. Like in New Game Plus, it is nothing but fighting because we gun stuff down a lot quicker. And thankfully, weirdly enough, not in one hits. It's kind of cool. I started looking at doing New Game Easy, and New Game Easy, it's actually impossible to do the driver and blade combos because you do so much more damage, so you have to route around that. But combat still wouldn't probably be the fastest thing, so you have to find replacements for those, and that's 2
green
people.
barrels.
That's blocked behind community level 4.
And then you've got Max Community, which is probably going to be different because like we have to get barrels along the way. We have to do all the quests, so it's likely going to be different in the end.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot more collectibles that are needed. You're going to have to max out the affinity charts to make sure you get all the field actions maxed out to 3, because those are required if you want to do max community. There's a lot of extra stuff to it, and it's kind of neat. And also we get the best side quest of doing the cake.
The cake, yeah.
The cake.
We
It looks
mentioned-
so good.
I think that should be a mandatory cutscene watch as well. You can't skip that.
I'm fine with that. Let's just put that in the rules.
Yeah, add it to the
Grim,
rules.
write it down for the rules.
You know, I heard something about green barrels. You know what's better than green barrels?
Japanese voices?
No, prizes. Because I figured we've had all of these people donating. Might as well tell people what they can get when they donate.
All right,
What do you
it's
say?
true.
Go ahead.
So the great thing about RPG Limit Break, and not only are you helping Nami, you are also be entered into prizes that you could win, donated by lots of great volunteers. If you donate during this run, you have a chance to win a set, or if you donate at least $5, you have a chance to win a set of 2 card wallets, a set of 2 rubber chains, or 4 Gorilla keychains. So all the keychains. If you donate $10 during this run, we got a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 art print.
It's really cool, by the way. I've seen that. That's sweet.
Oh yeah?
That's really sweet. Is it a really
Yeah.
fun?
And we have a grand prize for this marathon too. If you donate $100 throughout the entire marathon, all week, you could potentially win a Nintendo
never turn a
Switch
blind eye to
with, I
that.
believe, every RPG that's going to be at this marathon, including Xenoblade Chronicles
On the
2.
Switch.
On the Switch.
Not every RPG in the
Switch.
marathon. For $100, I'm in.
I'm sold.
Yeah. So I think, so Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the main game, The World Ends With You, Sega Ages version of Phantasy Star, Octopath Traveler, and that other one. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Yes. I should remember that. My friend's running it.
I'm hosting it. Like, I'm actually working on it. We killed Bulletin. Just on the side.
If you're listening, I'm sorry, Oro.
Also, I'm happy to personally add in an extra bit of money to add this DLC to that pack, by the way. Just happy to do that myself. Just because they deserve to play this. Whoever wins that.
Yeah.
We'll try.
I'm actually down for helping out on that as well.
Yeah, because like Xenoblade 2 is really missing the backstory of the Torna people. So
Yeah, and there we go. For people,
and,
the
like,
people
it's
that
here.
haven't played the game, they can go about Torna and then Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and then let us know how it changed it for them.
I think I know someone who is doing that order. I can't remember who, if it's someone from the community Discord or if it's someone I know from elsewhere. They're trying to do that order, so I'll keep you updated about that.
A nice change of
Remind me
pace.
why we're here again?
Why are we here again?
Speak to Arb.
I have no idea.
This start's actually one of my favorite storylines. Or
Well,
sorry,
Arb's-
sorry, but it's
Yeah.
continuing.
Yeah.
I one of my favorite side quests.
Last time to Gourmat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last time to hear the great music.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's fine. There is
Well-
also great musics.
Yeah, I mean, all of the musics are great, so that doesn't tell us
All
much.
right. Remind me why we're here again?
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, I love convincing her just to be like, hey, this guy asked for you. I'm sold.
200,000 gold, I don't need it.
Yeah, it was bringing up the person she hates, paying her gold, or just be like, hey, this one guy mentioned you. Him? Heck yeah. I'm in.
Yeah.
Muscle Branch, 7 out of 10.
Yep. So, yeah, this is our puzzle wood for main game.
Aren't
So, yeah,
we
so you actually need these for building the ship. I think it's 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're at 8. We had
What's really funny?
I've been walled by this so many times when I do New Game Plus runs.
What's really funny is Muscle Branch is a gold drop in main game, so it's actually very, 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 very rare. I once did a run through and I got 10 Muscle Branch before I got 10 Puzzle Tree Wood, which is like the rarest drop.
That is ridiculous, yeah.
It's actually funny that there
And
are
you see, I just got
rare
0 from that
Yeah, that was a
pull,
lot of
even
pull.
with Hayes' help. So, yeah, it's just, we've just had bad luck with muscle branches this run.
because it really just means that they were using muscle branches to build ship before, and now it's rare, so they don't use it anymore, and,
Yeah.
and that's why it's rare.
That's why everything's made out of metal now.
Yeah. Well, it
Yeah.
explains a lot.
Run out of wood.
There we go.
Oh baby, planning for the future. I think this is a very important side quest to do as well because narratively it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like how Torna manages to hang on.
Also, free people. Yay.
Free people. Yep.
The best type of people to recruit in this run.
They just heard about us, and they found us cool, so they just joined.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, we still have 10 people to go, but they're actually going to go really quickly now because if I can stop talking to people extra times. Yeah. One
So-
thing that gets me a lot is you saw that box pop up in the background. It's just a random person talking, but I sometimes see those and I say, whoops, got to press A to close it. And yeah.
Yep. So if we didn't do Doc the Miasma Slayer earlier, we actually can't unlock her at that time. But if we did it later on, so her hard stop is you have to have 3 or more for her to be able to join. If we waited till 3 and then did the dock quest, she would immediately then appear to be recruitable at that point.
You have our gratitude.
Of course we do.
So people kind of listen to me, but only half of what I said because, well, we got a lot of donations in, but the problem is Japanese is not really catching up to English here.
Good job, English boys.
So I guess we could, if we got a moment to catch up on some of these that have.
Yeah, I think you're still pretty good for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're good.
There's a few
Yeah.
quests.
Yeah, we.
Also,
well,
beautiful rendering.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 now as we have an interesting fight coming up after this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, a couple real quick. We got $10 from Sundiner.
Dino.
It says,
18.
enjoying the show. Best of luck to my friend vaxherd. And we had a $100 donation from Anon Emus. In 2 words.
Of course, yeah.
It's best boys.
And we had a $45.45 donation from Rye Guy 3745. Says, "Yay! RPG Limit Break is back, but needs more Mikey. So let's see if we can fix that and get Mikey in as a fighter in Phantom Brave."
Nice. So we got like 2 sets of 3 people there. So we're now up to 42 already. So only 6 to go now. So that was a very, very quick turnaround.
Now coming up is the interesting fight.
Yeah, so this is we're following up on Proof of Love.
Where shall we head to next?
So
yeah, things are gonna happen.
So the Gourmat that we saw earlier that was trying to confess his love to this one girl is now dead.
Nice.
And so we're gonna, in revenge, we're gonna kill this plant. But you want to move it away because there's actually a flying monster that will move around where he originally spawns. That you can hit with AOE's.
Bring him nice and close.
He hurts.
Yeah.
He will kill you.
Let's go.
And there we go. That's well. What? Go, 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 go.
Hanging on by the skin of his roots. And down he goes.
Shout out to Xenoblade 1 for doing pretty much the same thing when you're farming.
Yeah, the go-go farming.
I just love the sound. Go away.
And the goggles just drown.
Oh no! Back down to 41.
Oh.
That's hurting, not helping. Vaxherd.
Rip my boy.
It'll work out, trust me.
That's because
Everything will be fine.
I've never tested it. I don't know if you have, Vax, or you, Gren. If you're at barely the community
Just
level.
looked at me and said, "Gren."
I pointed back to him, but whatever.
Okay. Did you?
Yeah, I went that, but I didn't use one finger. That's what confused you.
Okay.
If you're at the bare minimum for a community level, then lose somebody, does it knock you down community level?
I do not know. I've never tried.
All right.
Interesting question.
Okay, well, look at that.
Yeah, I guess it's something maybe I will do after this run.
What's happening to Villager over there? He's just dying. You're right.
It's probably something I did.
Whoa.
Can I throw a couple more in here while you're still building the community?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome, because we got our own community out here also
Great.
doing all of these donations.
Great.
nice one.
We had a $1 donation from Gabs. Said, "Bowie, I watched you play Torna, my dude. I know how it ends." Also, Leary says to say, "Chibi Mutt." We had a $50 donation.
I'll let you have that one, Larry.
We had a $50 donation from Andrew158. No message, but thank you very much. Solothorn gave another $5. It says, "Japanese voices, not on my watch."
I was
This is
starting to smile and then I cried.
This is the only game I know where the localization is genuinely better than the original. I have huge respect to whoever came up with the English script and the mostly stellar voice actors. But when will we get "Don't Forget Me" back? I miss it.
Are we going to do a chain attack with Hugo?
We will later, yes.
We might get it.
Yeah.
Well,
possibility.
obviously we will.
Solothorn did have a PS2. Morag is best.
People not recognizing that Nia is best girl.
I'm not going to go down this route with you. I'm not going to do this.
Can't we just accept that all girls are best girls and all guys are best guys? They're all best people.
Where shall we head to next?
He's right.
Gort exists.
Wasn't yes the proper
Okay, I
answer?
recant my statement. I recant my statement.
Okay, we had a $10 donation from Koopy that said, "It was so long between when I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Torna that I actually completely forgot, quote, what we actually knew was going to happen, unquote, at the end of Torna until just before the ending."
So we have 1 to go. Where are we going, Vax?
We are going right here.
I believe we're going to be finishing off the planning for the future.
Yep.
As our last one, which is kind of, again, very, very nice and
Yeah,
thematic.
it's fitting, yeah.
All right, remind me why we're here again?
Except it's
To speak to Mythra, my word.
We've gone through this
remember anything.
before.
She's got a memory like a sieve, my word.
she's a simpleton.
By the way, Bowie, GB butt. You're welcome, Larry.
That's so sweet.
You see what you've done? Do you see what you've done? I'm never gonna live it down. I'm gonna be like 47, I'm just gonna be hearing Chibi Mite in my head. Okay, so yeah, we've now. I believe we completed that.
Yes,
that one.
yes,
So
yes,
we
we
now
have reached.
We now have Community 4, so that means that we can now access the finale. Basically, we need to. The reason was is after we saved the city, they were like, we need you to kind of like really go into the city and like really like connect with the people. So we now have like a lovely ceremony where Laura is kind of like brought into the army as kind of like a member of their drivers and like pride of Torna to go forward. And if you remember the cutscene in Xenoblade 2 where Laura goes, "All right, guys, let's make some memories." All right.
Yeah. So
It's kind of like that's she's now going to push forward to hopefully save Torna.
also a small little thing is now, since Laura's been accepted, Jin stops wearing the mask because he doesn't have to hide his identity anymore.
Where should we head to next?
So we're going up to the time score now, which is where Malos at some point pretty much challenged us to. Actually, it was at the end of us beating him last time. He challenges us to come fight him again at full strength because he knew Mythra was holding back at the core of the Titan.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is because Mythra has been learning a lot, and she's kind of like she's still aware that she has this like destructive power, but she was holding back, as you say, in Oresco because she doesn't want to destroy or hurt anything. So he says like, come on, show me your true power in this very risky location.
Also, another thing is, for people that don't know, is Titans are actually originally blades. So blades, after absorbing enough energy throughout multiple spans of their lives, they grow into a Titan. Then the Titan will slowly, as it eats and stores up more and more energy, it will grow and grow until it becomes pretty much the size like Torna and stuff. But in XC2, they start having the issue that they've been killing off too many Titans and not enough are coming back, so they're running out of place for people to actually live. Unlike right now, where it's just kind of they're just discovering new Titans. Like Gourmat is like, I think they said like a year-old Titan or something. Like it was just surfaced a little while.
I have to.
Well, it's not really that they are killing titans; it's that they are
Just
just
the
dying
Titans are
of
dying
old
off,
age.
yeah.
Yeah, they're running out of space to live on as well. But at this point, we've made a couple more items for pouches and gone for our last like big level up session. So we're going to be making our way through the final dungeon essentially of the game, and that's where we're going to have a little bit more technical. Let's say breaking of this game, I guess. There's no like major huge clips going through walls and stuff. But we're going to be skipping massive barriers.
It was more of an oversight that we figured out had collision.
So Nintendo, look away now.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, no, sorry. Please do. I hate this.
No, stop it. They've already got rid of zombie walk, so we want to keep, it's.
And like
that wasn't your fault, Paul.
It was my fault. I performed it once in Marathon and it was gone.
like the thing is, it's super hard to get. So hopefully we're gonna get it first try.
No pressure there, Vax.
Remember, it's
Second
3
try.
times. No, it's 3 times. 3 times is the magical number.
Yeah, so, so what I liked about this is, we were talking about the differences between the different games as well, or like the whole series is quite interesting, but this is quite reminiscent of going inside the Bionis as well. So it was nice to have that callback to Xenoblade 1 as well, going inside these Titans and climbing up. So we're going to be climbing up to the very, very top of its core, going to its back. There are going to be 2 specific gates that would need you to require you to kind of like go along these long pathways, defeat these bosses, and activate these like these stones in order to kind of like lower the gates to get further. But we're going to be jumping, kind of jumping past these gates, really.
We're going to be jumping around them. There's 2 gates. There's a blue gate and a red gate. The blue gate you have to jump on the platform, hopefully not fall off. You got to land right on it. If you fall off, you lose, I think it's about 15 to 20 seconds because you have to hit the ground. You have to open up the menu. You got to reload, fast travel back. The red gate has a little bit more safety to it, but you have to go still do one of those arena finds to break the blue gate. So you always go for the blue gate first.
Yeah.
The reason why a lot of us don't like it is the fact that it is at this point practically mandatory. And it's not consistent. There's no like setup that you can do. It's just you get in position, you go for it.
It is nice so that, I mean, as you say, it's 15 seconds per reset, but it does save like 4-ish minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
4-ish minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
It saves around 4 to 5 minutes in new game, and then 2 minutes new game plus.
Yeah. So it's not, it's not bad if you drop it a couple of times. So last few upgrades using all of these chips here. I mean, mostly we're looking for the auto attack damage more than anything else, rather than like special effects or block rate specifically doesn't really matter too much. We're going to be trying to deal as much damage as possible. Yeah. Especially when we go for the specials when we have multiple people jumping in. So because we're not going to use too much haze actively, so her having stronger attack when she comes into the specials is even better for her.
So also for people wondering why we're still going through affinity charts, while not really much is updating besides the branches, when we hit another level, it updates the trust. Trust makes your affinity max out a lot quicker, as well as increases the damage when your affinity is maxed out.
So again, speaking of which, we have also added in Affinity Max Attack 3, which is like 30% increase. So nice and chunky.
Yeah. So Laura and Jen are about to start hurting. So these function a lot like the stones from earlier, very back at the beginning of the run. So there are little arena fights that have around, I believe, these are like 4 to 5 waves.
These are actually only 3 waves, but some of them are very long.
Yeah, the problem of these enemies is that once they're enraged, they are actually giving spike damage.
Spike damage is a very important part of this. We haven't really talked about it too much, but spike damage is essentially mirrored reflected damage based on, it's not set to how much damage you do, but they will deal a certain amount of damage back to you when they are enraged. So
every time you hit, so like people that hit a lot, like Laura, like Mythra, are going to take a lot of damage.
You could do spike defense, but you don't need
It's always fun when you go against spike defense and then you have crit healing on Mythra, so you see the gauge go.
Yeah. So at this point, I believe vaxherd described this as just Jin and Laura go in. So I mean, look. I mean, at the beginning of the damage of the fight, they were dealing 1,000 damage. Now they're dealing 7, like anywhere between 3 and 7. It's just huge increase.
Jin's OP.
Yeah. We said it at the start, we'll say it again, he's busted, man. He's clearly the best blade in the game. Best character.
For Torna, yes.
Yeah.
Nobody can beat Crosshead. And Corbin.
Somehow.
It's weird that she has the highest damage in the game, Bowie. You have to accept it.
Bridget.
No, I'm not saying like best girl.
No. Best Bridget. Every time you dodge, you get bonus attack. You can solo like Tyranno.
Every time you pick up a health pot, you increase your damage by when it's maxed out 50%.
And she's got skates. I don't care.
I don't care about the skates either.
She's a fun.
I do like that she kicks a soccer ball in the people's faces though. That's awesome.
I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just saying that you can solo Tyranno Titan with Morag using Bridget. I'm just saying it's pretty sweet.
I mean, you can solo most bosses in the game when you're a dodge tank.
Yeah, of course. That's why she's sweet. The point is, vaxherd's doing a great run right now.
Yes. So we're on the second floor. We'll have a little bit of a maze, and then we're going to end another Barney Stone. That's what I was trying to remember earlier. They're Barney Stones. We're going to end another one of those fights, and then we get up to the gates and pray.
So fun fact about this place, it's actually also something that we visit in Xenoblade 2. Near the end, we're going through Torna, Dead Torna. And we are going through the destroyed interior of Torna, and it's the same music. It's very sad as well.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those things just like connecting the two.
I think it was sadder going through the destroyed the human city than going through the time, to be honest, a little bit for me. of being like, oh, this is the old world.
Yeah, all of that kind of section, like the game took a massive shift in in vibe at that point. It was very interesting to see.
Yeah, so here's the second fight. Let's go pretty much go the same way, except we're gonna see an introduction.
We can do it.
Introduction. I don't know, my brain's not working.
Introduce.
I've been up since 4 in the morning, okay? I had to fly in today. I'm not on my A game. He gets my A game tomorrow. But we'll see some new creatures. They're a lot tankier and they have really annoying abilities.
And there's Spike again.
So, and there they are. So you see in the back corner right there, the big guy with the tail whipping everywhere. They have knockback. They jump around everywhere. They're just so annoying. And then yeah, they can tank quite a bit. But we got Jin and Laura, so after a point, it's gonna kind of be like, okay, cool. Go into your corner.
It just melts. Like it just completely melts. Like chocolate fireman.
Yeah, so all that damage right now has been auto attacks until then. $12,000.
Just jing things.
And still, I mean, like, it's still taking a lot of hits, and it's barely, it's 8 levels below them. And usually, like, when you're higher level, everything's below you're supposed to take more damage. Yeah, these things still can take a bunch.
They are killing Laura.
It'll be all right.
He's gonna switch. Ooh, look at that! Gotta help that.
I do like the HP recover on Switch. It's a really good way
to save the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you max out Haze's heal for Wind of Healing, it literally just maxes out HP at that point. It's great. So yeah, if you want to cheese fights, you just max out her Wind of Healing and then just smack people, throw it. Smack people, throw it.
Yeah, so basically just have a healer in permanent party, just like Xenoblade 2.
I should note, like, at this point, like, there's so much going on right now. Vaxherd is very focused. I'm very impressed with just how much he's keeping this going. It's a tough fight. It's long.
And it's a mess because Spike is nice.
Thankfully, you don't have to worry about getting thrown out in this arena because there actually is an invisible wall keeping you in. But yeah, this is good. If you die, you have to redo the whole thing.
So this is dangerous. He's used up his last party gauge, and Haze is hanging right now. Okay, a bit of help. Oh no! Oh no!
Get off here, little one.
There's the break. HP pot. There it is.
No win. There we go.
Okay, we're back into this, right?
That's why Haze is so good.
From the jaws. Good stuff.
It's our boy Jin. Guess who's still strong.
Okay, yeah, that was a little sketchy.
So reminder that Jin's attack modifier happens even if he's not currently in. If Haze is in, it still keeps adding on.
Great. He did it. I think it was good.
It was sketchy.
That was very well done. That was bringing that back. So now, okay, now we're gonna be running up to the gate skip because. So if you thought that looked really that was iffy, the other two that you would have to do normally or get a lot worse and a lot harder.
A lot of bigger enemies as well.
Yeah. Those big things right there.
Yeah.
You have to
gotta fight them.
And they take a while.
And they are high level as well. It's a fun big mess. Not fun. Actually, it's fun when you're doing it casually because they're just big fights, but. Ugh.
Speedruns
As a
really
speedrun,
hard.
yeah, it is a challenge.
Speedruns are hard.
So
I want that on a shirt.
We're both thankful and not happy that this was found.
What? Who's not happy about it? I've never heard
Just
this.
Gedrith, it seems.
I think it's wonderful.
Well,
You can't hear the sarcasm in his voice.
Vaxherd is fine with it because he's just so consistent at it. That's it.
Okay, who wants to take guess?
First try.
First
That
try.
sounded like you just cursed him right there by saying that.
This
Here we
is
go.
new.
So yeah, so you jump on the railing, jump up on this bridge, this little corner, and then there's a little ledge on this other side that he's got angle
just
at.
see
That's
that.
where he needs to jump to. Ooh, too short. So there's that, there's landing on it, and then there's going over, as well as landing on it, but still holding the control stick forward just enough, and it taps you off.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
the
the
thing.
worst feeling ever.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah, same.
So this is very difficult. It's weird, because
Jumping in
so-
this game is weird.
jumping in this game is weird. Taking turns is a very slow thing, and it's not very precise on the sticks, so there's not just one direction you can hold, and you'll always get a consistent turn. It's always going to be a little
The
different.
thing about it is as well, the jump arcs are set when you jump, so it's all about not. But
There goes my 3.
it's like you can't just like land on it. You have to kind of like when you're going into your like apex of the jump, you just kind of like catch
So-
and like latch onto it rather than like.
And
land.
ideally, he wants what he's doing with him going further, keep going forward and dying there, because if you drop straight down, you'll actually survive and have to fast travel back up, which wastes so much time.
No worries, we got this. You got this.
Remember, we're really ahead of schedule. So everything's going as planned, right? We planned this earlier.
Yeah, please just allow me to
We're,
get more
yeah,
sleep.
we're trying to let him be able to get some sleep before his run in the morning.
Yeah.
So this is like, and then also when you, depending on how you hit the side when you're trying to turn, they can just stop the turn immediately. You can keep going straight instead. It just doesn't.
Don't get careless.
The controls are not obviously meant for us to do this, but we found it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dead frames sometimes can eat jump inputs.
Oh,
That's unfortunate.
nice.
It's not a huge loss, like a couple of seconds, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's a much bigger loss if I jump back to the wrong location,
Yeah.
because it resets you because you're on the second floor there.
So, and then how fall damage works in this game is it's a % of your health damage per, like, I think meter you fall after a certain point.
It's like it's 20% intervals.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah, 20, 40, 60, 80, and then 100.
But yeah, it's of your max %. So it doesn't matter how much you ever have, it'll always be.
That was close. That was close. That was close.
So yeah, so this is actually really hard to do. Like I've sat here for a majority of the day practicing this. I could not get it consistent.
You got this, man. Don't worry.
Xenoblade 2 and Torna definitely have something in common here between Door and
Careful now, team.
There's a reason this split is named Door in my splits.
Yeah, so for people unfamiliar in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, in the very end area when you're climbing the world tree, there's a door that you can clip through. If you run at the exact right angle, then jump into this small little gap left open. As Grin here can contest, it is not fun.
Yes, okay.
And it really kills run. And it's really fun in Xenoblade 2 when you are like 5 hours in and you can get it and you can say bye-bye to
Don't
PB.
get careless.
But this is what makes the run a little frustrating. This is right at the end.
Yeah.
Yay!
It's not over yet. It's not over
Wait
yet.
until he's over. Wait until he's over. Just
Yeah.
The stars.
Okay.
Okay, we go.
So from there, there's 2 paths you can take. You can jump up like that, which you have a chance of falling back down if you don't get the full jump high at the jump. Or you can try to go around and get on the railing, which once again has the same problem of you can hit the wall and just fall straight down.
Okay, so we are coming up on the final menu, so one final check on voices and I guess on costume. Doesn't sound like there's much change yet. But
Yeah, nothing has changed. It will be English, and you will keep the Smash Brothers Ultimate costume.
all right.
We made it. Good stuff.
Doesn't seem so bad.
That was loud. Somebody's really
Bully's
happy.
excited for you.
Very loud.
It's a sight. Everyone
It's nice
likes
to hear some hype
that.
in the audience. So we're going to hollow charm, I think expand pouch on
Yes.
Laura, yep, and give her the capital under fire.
Fascinating story.
It is.
Absolutely.
Best of luck, sir.
Thank you.
All right,
This is a very cinematic fight. It's really, really cool,
it's
and
so
we're
awesome.
going to be utilizing a bunch of different. So the party agents are going to take on a different thing. So this is a Xeno game, right? Takahashi RPG from Xenogears, Xenosaga, Xenoblade. We're going to get very, very mechy, and that's what I really like about this fight.
It also lags so bad. You have to. He'll be angling his camera to reduce lag at all times during this next part. But so the first part, we have Malos 2. So it's Malos and 2 of his gargoyles that fight. So we want to get down and get Malos first because, of course, Malos can still kill us at any moment. So he takes the top priority. The gargoyles here have reduced HP and armor, but still are a huge threat.
Just out of curiosity, how much HP has Malos here on this fight?
About 400,000, 450, I think.
All right, 400,000. Keep that in mind. Also, this theme is still super good.
So good. Okay, so he did Monado armor. Monado armor pretty much gives him super armor. You have it's a really high % chance that you're just gonna bounce off of him. But
And also, you deal no damage.
yeah. But when you go into a chain attack, it doesn't really matter too much. You pretty much chain attack gives you the equivalent of like SMT's Pierce mechanic. You just kind of ignore whatever they have going on. Except for Elemental Awakening, that still would count.
Oh, that was not supposed to happen. I'm actually going to have to reset this. I'm sorry. We do have autosaves. This is not a problem. Don't worry.
I was
Yeah,
scared
so-
for a second you
So
would have
going,
to use it.
going into the final boss, it's actually a mandatory save.
It is that's a good point. So, it's a
yeah.
mandatory save anyway.
So even when him coming back in, he's still gonna have to mandatory save going into this boss.
Okay, so that was. So we will pretend I died on the boss because if you die, you are sent back to the title screen. So what I forgot to do, there is an accessory that I forgot to equip on Bridget. If it is equipped, it will guarantee that she breaks an orb.
Oh, right.
Yeah, if it is weakened, and it seems that. Yes, apparently I forgot to equip anything on her, which is very strange because I was pretty sure I had. Anyway, down here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, I have no idea what happened.
Apparently, you just completely forgot about the Ox Core menu.
It must be that. Yeah, I was pretty sure. I have a recollection of doing it, but I must be recalling a practice run. It's very strange. Anyway, okay.
This is the first try now. This is the first
This
attempt.
is first try. But I mean,
Come on, let's get some hype here. First try.
Okay.
We'll get to hear more of Malos' team, so that's good.
So that big blue thing there, that was the core of the Titan as well. So we're fighting on a very, very fragile part. He's trying to destroy Torna. I mean, we're trying to stop him.
so like previously, we're going to hopefully get Ultimate Aurora with either at least a break on it when we get to that topple's good. It lets us get the health down to a little bit faster. Here's
Very
Ultimate
nice.
Aurora, and he got with topple, so this is gonna hurt.
This is gonna hurt.
155.
Ooh, nice.
Half
That is
HP.
really good.
That's a lot of damage done.
That's a lot of damage.
He comes.
Malos just melted.
So it should be noted as well, crit build on Mythra is nice because you have the high crit chance anyway, but crit also increases the gauge, the party gauge much quicker. So it's going to be important to know.
And the good thing about Mythra, just like in Xenoblade 2, every time she gets a crit, her art charges faster.
Yeah.
So crit builds on Mythra is yum.
And also, just like in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, when you go into chain attacks, you can actually still damage stuff around the chain attack.
If you
Though
do
it's-
AoE.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder because not they removed a lot of AoE, but you get that.
How about another round of carnage?
Yeah, sure, why not, you know?
So we do really want the bonus EXP from this to
Yeah.
get some levels up.
It's actually kind of two ways to look at it, which is that if you don't take the experience, then you get bonus damage on Jin, but it is definitely more dangerous.
Big damage. See, we can see that bonus really racking up. That's basically 250%. That's going to be like almost now 3 times experience, which is huge. Are we going to hear it? That's the question. No. We might on the next round. Oh no, because we should break this.
Yeah, just
yeah.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more chance in the final battle.
Okay.
Come on.
So yeah, everyone's going to do their level 3, and then at the end we're going to have Adam and Mythra do their level 4, and that will karoosh the opponent. It's a lot of experience. What, million damage? Yeah. So these are the Artifice Colossi. So yeah, we've been talking about the Artifice. So not only do we have the Artifice that's like a specific being that you know the Aegis have control over, they also have their own like special like
Giant
fighter,
robot.
giant robot fighting men. And so
Well, they both have their own siren.
yeah, so Siren is basically a mech that's kind of stationed up in a space station outside of Allrest, which is
Satellite,
a
the
thing,
satellite
a thing.
style.
Don't worry about that. It'll make sense later on when we get to that point.
There's big robots.
Yeah, there's big robots. It's Xeno game, right?
Yeah, 4B is no game without big robots.
So that's the first part of the fight down. This is now the final fight, or the big like final bit. This is an incredibly cinematic fight. The party gauge will be replaced with the Siren gauge, where we're going to be building up. So whilst we're having Mythra and Malos fight, the two Sirens are going to be going hammer and tongs in the sky. So whilst we're fighting, this is going to be going on in the background. And you can see on the left-hand side, we've got our Siren gauge and then Malos's. Whoever gets there first will use their level 1 to damage the opponent's Siren. And it will also deal damage to Malos as well, I believe.
Yes.
So we need to get through these different gauges, do some big attacks, destroy the opponent's Siren, and then take down Malos.
So, how much HP did Malos have in phase 1?
Like 450k.
400 million. This one has 8 million.
Yes.
Just a little boost.
Yeah, like, so think about that. Even in like the new game run, you pretty much have to do at least a Siren gauge. He has that much, and it's crazy.
So
Yeah. So, thankfully, driver combos still stick during this. So he's about to take a lot of damage from Siren's hits.
Also, we actually get to hear the music here instead of the Iron Fight in Xenoblade 2 because the Iron Fight is so short.
But what's more important is if he isn't either in that launch or smash state during those attacks, he gets blown back a lot in the stage. You want to keep him as much as you can around you.
It's also important to note that when you get your gauge up, it actually locks out the opponent for a little bit of time. You have a chance to really get the lead. I mean, Vax is so practiced at this that he's going to be. There's no chance of Malos getting his Siren.
This is a hard fight, and right there, just reduced all the affinity on all the blades, which is not the best in the world to have happen.
Everything slows down because of it. Affinity is really important to keep up.
Thankfully, having high trust with Mythra's already back up to max. Just the others won't be for a bit.
So the big thing we're trying to do as well during while we're getting our Siren gauge up is getting all these orbs up to have one giant chain attack with all 8 orbs up.
And it's going to be very specifically crafted how it's going to go through it. So we'll have to let vaxherd really focus on that when it happens, because there are some variations that he needs to be aware of.
Also, Mythra's level 1 is really good because it can pretty much instantly recharge because of her crit rate.
Hacks away. So yeah, we're talking about crit rate for this reason. Her level 1 is just going to be used so much to build gauge up quickly, but very, 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 very quickly indeed.
You can just basically just spam A, which is the...
Man, you are getting really good topples. Like, Malos has actually really good resist. So normally you just don't, you can go a whole fight without even getting one.
Also worth pointing out that we got a few other stuff to increase the chain gauge for this fight. The talisman on Laura.
And then crystal earrings.
Yeah, the silver earrings on Mythra.
Yeah, so most of those
just
are
damage, like
So the crystal earrings is every time you get an excellent on a gauge, it increases the party gauge by even more than it usually does. And then also, I don't know if you got the skill for it, but I believe it's Hugo has an ability and skills that does the same thing.
Oh baby. And you can just see, like, whilst doing all of this, he's also trying to remember which element he hasn't got yet. So making sure he's got every single element available to him as we go through this.
Here we go.
So worth noting that we did enough chain attack to destroy the Siren, or like to knock her out.
Yeah, so after 5 chain attacks, I believe, one of the siren, four. One of the sirens is knocked down. If Malos beats your siren, I believe it's an instant game over.
Yeah, you're probably just
I've
destroyed.
never seen it, but I think that's what happens.
Would not surprise me. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it's
but
really-
pretty much what happens when we win is we'll get the party gauge back. Malos gets a massive debuff, and we get his siren in the background destroyed.
Yeah. And the music is insane. This final battle theme is so good. Ultimate Aura once again, because Jin is a beast.
Yeah, we're racking up damage. That's about all there is now. Racking up damage.
I think the highest Vax has seen is like 600,000, I think it was.
So see that number and see how little the damage it actually did on Malos so far.
That would have instantly killed the first fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the first that would have been completely over. Monado Eater coming out.
So all the Finnies will be down, unfortunately.
Gonna go for
we
level
got siren.
4.
Wait.
No,
There was still one.
it was its first its weapon got knocked down. Its blue weapon. Now this is the one.
Yeah, I was
You have to
thinking.
watch.
I didn't see that one.
The shield's gone now. Now
Also,
it's landing.
warning for headphone users: there may be an audio glitch in the near future.
So yeah, we're going to be looking to get his HP down to half so we can do this, so we can finish him off in this one final explosive moment. Monado Buster coming in. Okay.
So yeah, that would be 4 million damage. And just saying.
And reminder that Elemental Awakening is still a thing.
Yo, that timing.
This is horrifying at this point. Now Malos pretty much at any point can just be like, everybody die.
It's okay.
Oh
we got
my
this.
wamo.
But that's why we just save up level 4s.
This is so close. Going to be getting that gauge up very, very quickly. Oh my God, Hayes!
Hugo, no!
No!
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not done yet.
We've got this.
Oh, Monado armor though. We have to wait this one out, I believe.
And he can still do stuff, by the way, when it's up. So
I think Monado armor lasts 30 seconds.
this is gonna.
It's okay. It's okay.
Actually, you were out of range of losing your affinity, so that was good.
So as soon as that's down, Vax is going in.
All right,
Okay.
let's go.
Okay, I'll let him do this.
Get ready to min up. This is far from
Double fire.
Excellent. Lead the rear guard to me, Bridget.
shall burn.
Elemental burst. How about another round of carnage? Right in the kitchen. Elemental burst.
Swap with me, Hayes. Right on target. Emperor Hugo.
No more running amok. It's not over. Excellent. Not by a long shot. Take it away, Prince. That's it now.
Jin, I'm trusting you with this.
Lead the rear guard to me, Bridget.
There is no escape.
Elemental burst. Any last word? Excellent. Mythra,
Come on!
great. Obstinate thing. Elemental burst.
I shall leave it in your capable hands, Dion.
Okay.
We're not done yet.
Excellent.
Cool. So this should be the final round. Everything's broken down.
And then it's full burst.
Yeah.
With 2 extra orbs.
And we're going to make sure it's definitely on Jin. So Jin should finish this one off. He'll break whatever's left for a final burst on Jin and Laura for maximum damage.
So they still have like 2.5 million at this point.
Yeah, you really think it's like that? Like,
Just watch it. Just watch it go.
2.5 million.
nice.
So not quite there, but yeah.
3.14 million. Yeah.
Hey, it's pie.
But massive damage. If there were more crits involved in that overall session, it definitely would have made a massive difference. But
And right now, at this point, pretty much you just want to avoid doing specials because you do not want to jinx. Okay, he's going for it.
Oh boy.
oh boy, yeah. It's okay. He's got low enough HP at this point, so maybe he might be able to get the big hits out that he needs.
It's not that low though.
Okay, you got blowback. It's good.
Heat's
It
coming out.
slows him down a little bit.
Blaster. Whew, tanking.
Hugo being the good boy.
Another chain attack maybe if need be, if it's necessary.
Just as a safety.
Seems like he's going to just see this one out.
It's
You
probably
should
good.
have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Woo! That's not it yet, though.
So the reason I said that is I was at that much health once and died to him because he was like, okay, yeah, no.
So
Remember Gort?
So there's this whole beautiful cutscene that happens right now. It's so good and just a wonderful moment, and we would love to be able to end the run on it so we can watch it. But there's another boss fight, and it's.
I still say take it out, but yeah,
I
this is
agree.
Go ahead, Bowie. You've got.
This is a really, really hard fight, and you need to win this one. It's most important that if you die, it's you have to do that whole thing again. So it's definitely really, really scary. And it's just you, Laura, Jin, and Hayes have to fight against Gort, who, as you can see, is all maxed out and pretty damn beefy. And I need to remind you that you need to win this fight. It's absolutely mandatory. So it's just. Why? We had all that wonderfulness that we could have seen, and we had to see this monstrosity. But yeah, so Gort comes back for one last jab at Jin and Laura, just because he's not happy with how things go. Don't die, Vax.
I'll do my best.
You're gonna overestimate
Don't
if you
do
die.
it. Yeah, you gotta focus on that healing.
Oh no! Never mind.
You can't die in this fight. You just win.
Sadly. I feel like it would be so much more interesting if you could die, because like it would be so much more intense.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is like, so obviously Torna's been destroyed at this point, and there's a lot of dangerous casualties, like big casualties, and Mythra is like completely distraught of
Yeah,
what happened.
so-
Yeah, because she's the source of that destruction.
Yeah.
So she while fighting Malos in the big cutscene, loses control and ends up, as a side note, ends up having glimpses of the next game, even getting the true Aegis sword during the fight.
But
which-
yeah, and she can't control it.
Yeah.
It's
so
too much
she
for
ends
her.
up laying waste
Time
to
is coming
most
up,
of
by the way.
Torna. Yeah. She lays waste to most of Torna herself.
Time.
That's a pretty solid time, man.
0746.
Yeah.
So yeah, after all of that, after everything that happens, and Adam takes Mythra away. Now Pyra actually, and seals her away, and Jin and Laura will go their own separate ways because everything's been destroyed, and has to try and fight back Gort, who's just trying to get his revenge.
And as I said, there is really no other moment to fight this guy, because the way you see it, just Laura's team fighting Gort is pretty well, and I can't see that happening during the main story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which
and
is
then,
annoying.
I mean, yeah. And then more cutscenes happen, and we cry pitifully
Yep.
for about 6 years.
To the very end.
But we're gonna save that for you to play.
Yep. So, yep, that is Torna. So, thank you and merci to my wonderful coach.
De rien.
Yeah, and of course, community, Grin, all you've done, and everybody else. And yeah, thank you all for watching and donating. Hope you enjoyed it.
Congratulations
Thanks,
to Vax.
Vax.
Congrats to Vax. Doing a great
Good run.
Thank you very much, vaxherd, for that run of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna, the Golden Country. Coming up next is going to be Phantom Brave by Kabahi, and I figured I'd go ahead and read a couple of donations while the current couch is around and hearing. We had a $25 donation from Kino K that said, "Gonna miss you this week, Gedrith. Have fun at RPG Limit Break. Also, we are Ursula's new groove." We had a $25 donation from Courtney Rail that said, "First time watching live, and I found the VODs on YouTube this past Christmas. Loving the event, and Nami is an excellent cause. I'm especially enjoying the Xenoblade run and listening to awesome couch commentary and a runner. The guy in the orange shirt reminds me of a cuter Shia LaBeouf, but only better in every way." I don't think Bowie heard that, sadly, but inside his heart, he knows. So we are going to go to some commercial breaks, and then I will be passing off the hosting station to Fitterus. So we will be back in a couple of minutes.
Hello and welcome back to RPG Limit Break. My name is Fataris and I'll be your host for the next couple of runs. Coming up, we're getting set up for Phantom Brave with Kobahi. Alright, let's get a couple donations in while we're getting everything set up. So we had a $25 donation from Hybrid. Xenoblade Chronicles is my favorite game, and Xenoblade 2 was my first ever speedrun. I haven't been able to catch a Torna run before, and it's been a pleasure to watch so far. The routing for this game blows my mind. Shoutouts to the entire Xenoblade speedrunning community. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for that 25. Just a reminder, this is RPG Limit Break 2019, coming to you from Salt Lake City, Utah. We are raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which was formed in 1979 as grassroots advocacy organization by a group of parents whose children suffered with serious mental illness, and NAMI have maintained that focus to this day. For the upcoming run, we do have a couple incentives that you might be interested in getting your donations in for. We have 2 naming incentives for Phantom Brave. You get to name the Merchant and the Fighter. For the Merchant, currently in the lead at $175, we have B, with Reset at $58 in second place, and Cash Money in third place with 20. For the Fighter, we've got Mikey with 45.45 in the lead, Chocobo in second place with $25, and Bochocho with $13 in third place. Along the lines of the incentives, we have a donation from Big Steve of $25. Shout out to the runners playing this excellent games for an excellent cause, and shout out to my friend B. We're getting your name on a character this year, buddy. So it looks like we're almost ready to get started. But first, we have a $100 donation from Wade with no comment, but thank you so much for that generosity, Wade. We really appreciate it.